so lively and quick, left the tennis world doing the same old tricks. The Red Sox and Yanks battle for the crown with the hopes of a 7-time Cy Young coming back to town. As LT runs for history without an end in sight, I must say, happy holidays to all, and to all, a good night.
Welcome to ESPN's presentation of Sunday Showdown, presented by Alltel Wireless, bringing you the most dynamic sporting events each week.
From Honolulu, Hawaii, Mei Kalikimaka!
Santa Claus in Hawaii, folks, comes complete with suntan lotion, SPF 8 needed today. Hawaii, Arizona State, a couple of teams ready to do battle, and the Hawaii players doing the haka, the ancient Maori war dance, part of their tradition here at Hawaii. Two teams today trying to put a period on their seasons. The regular season arriving at this moment of finality, the sun shining on the privileged with a potential for enthronement. For Hawaii, the opportunity to emblazon its name in the nation's consciousness remains. Their quarterback, the indomitable Colt Brennan, with stats that border on incomprehensible. His next 2 touchdown passes will set a new record. Meanwhile, Arizona State arrives in Hawaii as a determined obstacle, motivated by the pride of an outgoing regime and the critical eye of an incoming regime. Hawaii, Arizona State, next. Radiant, benevolent sky spattering down on Aloha Stadium. Welcome to the Aloha Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. It's the Hawaii Warriors and the Arizona State Sun Devils. It's the whack against the Pac-10. Hawaii looking for its 11th win of the season, which, by the way, would set a school record for the regular season. Hawaii today privileged and fortunate to be playing in front of their hometown fans, averaging almost 48 points per game this season. Led by June Jones, continuing to lead his team into postseason play. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with David Norrie, Heather Cox down on the sidelines. From all of us at ESPN to all of you at home, I'm going to try this in Hawaiian. Mele Kalikimaka. Merry Christmas and all the best in the upcoming new year. Now, while most of the nation on the East Coast and other parts of the country, David, were sleeping, Hawaii was putting up gaudy numbers for most of the season. But the one thing you can't sleep on is their quarterback, Colt Brennan, may be the most prolific quarterback in college football this year.
Well, statistically, I think it was the best year a quarterback has ever had in the history of Division I-A football. You look at Colt Brennan today, he has a chance to break 3 of the most coveted single-season records at the quarterback position, and it's hard to believe. You look back a year ago, Colt Brennan played an entire season as a walk-on, led the country in total offense. His specialty, accuracy, and intangibles. It's going to be an exciting day. Get a comfortable chair because we're going to see him throw it all over the lot.
Led the nation this year in 6 different offensive categories. Colt Brennan, to think that not many teams actually recruited him or got in on him. As for Arizona State on the other side of the field today, the Sun Devils coming in at 7-5. One of the great turnaround stories in the nation this year, at least on the defensive side of the ball, with a lot to prove today. Now, when you talk about Arizona State, David, last year their quarterback, Rudy Carpenter, like Brennan this year, led the nation in passing efficiency. He wasn't able to duplicate that feat, but he is still the key to what they do on the field.
Well, at times this year, he's been a quarterback under siege and really a decimated group of wide receivers. He lost some key receivers to graduation a year ago. Injuries on the offensive line, but Rudy Carpenter is very capable. You don't lead the country in passing efficiency like he did a year ago without being able to get the ball downfield. Hawaii plays an aggressive style of defense. I think Rudy Carpenter is going to have plenty of big play opportunities down the field in the pass game.
And one thing for certain, you would bet that Carpenter is ready to take a bunch of hits today from that fierce hitting Warrior defense. 10-3 against 7-5. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
When it comes to choosing a career, consider the laborers and union contractors. When you think of the laborers, think construction, healthcare, landscaping, environmental services, and much more. With the time-honored practice of apprenticeship, you'll be trained in starting a dynamic new career as a laborer. The laborers, with its great benefits of employment security and training opportunities, will provide you valued skills. You can have a secure career in the construction industry. The laborers are now recruiting and training statewide.
Meet the new Audi Q7 with grace, elegance, and unbridled power. The new Audi Q7 combines a race-bred engine with the increased performance, efficiency, and reduced fuel consumption of Le Mans-proven FSI direct injection with premium German craftsmanship, the versatility of third-row seating, and up to 28 different seat configurations. Where you ride, what you ride. The all-new Audi Q7. Never follow.
Aloha and welcome to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Starwood Hotels and Resorts is proud again to be the title sponsor of an event that ESPN icon Lee Corso calls one of the best bowl games in the nation. We are thrilled to welcome Pac-10 team Arizona State University against the University of Hawaii Warriors. On behalf of our hotel owners and associates, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy what promises to be a very exciting game. We are proud to share the warmth and aloha of our islands. We wish you a Merry Christmas and the happiest of holidays, and as we say in Hawaii, Mele Kalikimaka.
Well, the ESPN Bowl road trip in its final legs right now, some thousands of miles away, deep into the Pacific, in Honolulu, Hawaii. They call it Oahu, the gathering place, Heather Cox. That's how they say it in Hawaiian. Down to you.
Indeed, Mark, and today could be a historic day for Colt Brennan. The junior quarterback has a chance to break 3 different NCAA marks. Colt has 53 touchdown passes on the season. That's one shy of the single-season mark set 16 years ago by Houston's David Klingler. What makes that even more impressive, he has 126 fewer attempts than Klingler did. Brennan also has a chance to set the passing efficiency and completion percentage marks this year as well. Now that's an awful lot to digest, but let's put it into perspective this way. Colt Brennan has more yards and more touchdowns than Ohio State's Troy Smith and Michigan's Chad Henne combined. That certainly says it all, guys.
Yeah, he put up some outstanding and absurd numbers this year on the heels of another pretty good quarterback here, Timmy Chang. As we look at the temperature, pretty much right on par for the season, 81 degrees. But the thing that we're really interested in, how high are those waves, David Norrie? Up on the North Shore, Sunset Beach, you get on that Bonsai Pipeline and ride that bad boy, 12 to 18 feet. That's kind of treacherous if you ask me. The water temperature, a warm and balmy 77 degrees. Well,
I'm going to stick to the longboard on Waikiki.
June Jones, the head coach in his 8th season, has taken this team to 5 bowl games. And Arizona State winning the toss, electing to receive. McGahey back deep, along with Justin Tryon for Dirk Cutter's crew in his 6th season. This is his final game. He has been terminated as the head coach at Arizona State. Dennis Erickson will take over immediately following this game. And certainly some ambivalent feelings for Dirk Cutter and his entire coaching staff, as well as a lot of the players coming into this game. We'll see how they perform today for the coach in his final game at the helm. Deep in the end zone, it's Justin Tryon, 2 yards deep, taking it out. And Tryon still on his feet and brought down finally at the 43-yard line. A nice kickoff return against the Warriors, who traditionally have done pretty well in special teams. So good starting field position for Arizona State. And let's take a look at Arizona State's lineup.
Aloha, I'm Kyle Caldwell, senior defensive end for Arizona State University. I'm here to introduce our offense. It's one of a kind. I know best because I've got to practice against them for the last 4 years in a row. It starts up front with tight end Zach Miller, consensus All-American. Doesn't get much better than this. He's a nightmare for every defense he goes against. I'm sure it'll be another great day for him. Also up front is center Mike Pollock, an All-Pac-10 guy. This guy's always going to get the best of you before you get the best of him.
Right, and that offensive line can have to be on its P's and Q's collectively today. They gave up 33 sacks during the course of the regular season. Sean DeWitty in the ball game. Interesting move. He gets the first carry of the game. That was not an expected part of their starting lineup, but he gets a nice gain out to the 47-yard line. Kafensis making the tackle. And let's take a look at the defense for Hawaii.
Aloha, everybody. Devon Best, number 7, University of Hawaii football wide receiver. I'm here to introduce you guys to our defensive players. I hope these guys beat up on ASU as bad as they do me every day in practice. First, we're going to start off with my 2 twin tower killer assassins, defensive ends, Malila Purcell and Ikaika Lama Francis. Then we're going to move to the backfield to my main hidden man, Mr. Leonard Peters himself, a.k.a. the next Troy Polamalu.
High praise for his teammate. This is Terrain who's in the game. Brought down by Elimimimian. And a nice gain for Brian Terrain, who was second team All Pac-10 this year. Ran for 1,069 yards. And you got a quick look at Leonard Peters, a hard hitter.
A real transition for Arizona State off a year ago. The number 2 offense in the country. They averaged over 370 yards passing the football per game. And with the injuries, the well-documented injuries to the wide receiver group, this has become more of a running team.
Mike Jones split wide to the bottom of your screen. They run it. And they'll have the first down at the 45-yard line. That was Terrain. Terrain averaged 5.2 yards per pop this year, has 6 touchdown rushes on the season. Not bad for a kid coming in from Butler Community College. Usually, David, takes a little longer for those JC kids to assimilate.
Well, and the 2 losses, and they were devastating losses for Arizona State in the opener and the second game of the Pac-10 schedule against Cal and Oregon. Terrain really hit the map. Went for over 190 yards against Cal, went over 100 against Oregon, and that was really the emergence of the ground game for the Sun Devils.
They're going to run it again. Gain of about 3 yards. There's a look at the improvement defensively for Hawaii, and this is, for lack of a better term, a hard-hitting, bounty-hunting type defense. And Doc the Bounty Hunter does live in Hawaii, doesn't he?
You remember, Jerry Glanville is a defensive coordinator. You remember back in the 80s, the House of Pain down in Houston? And 2 years ago, Hawaii was 117th, dead last in defense. Now they're in the top half of the country defensively under Glanville.
Give it to Dimitri Nance again. Nice cutback at the line of scrimmage, and Nance is brought down at the 40 by Gerard Lewis. They're going to be about 5 yards short of the first down. So already we've seen 3 different tailbacks carry the ball for Arizona State, David. We've seen Nance, DeWitty on the first play of the game, and Terrain and Keegan Herring also expected to get a lot of touches in the backfield today. Interesting metamorphosis from Dirk Cutter's MO. His signature usually more of a passing attack.
Well, and with the injuries up front and the way they've had to reshuffle this offensive line, the substitutes have been better run blockers, and I think that's been part of the transition.
3rd and 5. They're going to pass here. It's complete at the 33 to Mike Jones. And Mike Jones appears to have the first down at the 34. Lewis again making the stop.
Well, we talked about it at the top. You don't lead the country in passing efficiency like Rudy Carpenter did a year ago without throwing the ball with great accuracy and timing. And that time he shaded Jones to the outside, read the position of the defensive back, Lewis, on his shoulder, put the ball right on the numbers.
Sean DeWitty in at tailback. They hand it off to DeWitty. Good size, and Peters comes up from the safety position to put the hit on him at the 26-yard line. Leonard Peters and Jacob Patek, a couple of hard hitters at the safety spots. Here's a look at Peters, number 42, one of the tri-captains.
Well, coaches from the mainland understand that when you come and line up against Hawaii, a big part of the defensive scheme for Hawaii is intimidation. And Jerry Glanville made no secret about it during the week. We like to go for the knockout shots. We're going to bring it, and we're going to be the hardest hitting team on the West Coast.
Terrain in the ball game, and he gets the carry. Going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard. Back to the 26-yard line. This is the opening drive of the ball game for Arizona State. Coming in at 7-5 and coming off of a win against their rival Arizona in their last outing 3.5 weeks ago.
The Sun Devils lost Andrew Carnahan and Stephen Berg, 2 big keys up front on the offensive line. But to be fair to it, they've had some substitutes that have stepped up. Brandon Rodd, Mike Pollock, Julius Oriukwu, all gaining all Pac-10 honors.
Nance is the tailback. A little waggle action. And it's incomplete. No flags on the play. Intended for Zach Miller, and now there's a late flag thrown. Jacob Patek put the hit on Miller. Miller is Arizona State's All-American. Have to sort this flag out. This is a Mid-American Conference officiating crew.
No, Patek was aggressive, and he arrived before the ball arrived. He really didn't need to make the hit on Zach Miller because this ball was not going to be completed. A big part of Arizona State's passing game is the bootleg. Now, we all remember Jake the Snake Plummer on the bootleg back in 1996, a team that came 60 seconds from the national title, and not a very well thrown ball. If Patek doesn't arrive early, Arizona State's looking at a 4th down situation.
And instead it's going to be a 1st down for the Sun Devils. They're going to place the nose of the ball at the 25-yard line, and here's the call. They give it to Arizona State, 1st down. Carpenter, a 6'2 sophomore, 207 pounds. 17 of 25 against Arizona in their last game. A big win. Try and build on that confidence. See a little shift up front by Hawaii. And this is Nance on the run, and Nance is dragged down right around the 20-yard line by Limimini. You know, Jerry Glanville, he always used to wear black, right, David? Wasn't that his thing? Says that he's never had safeties further than 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. Likes to get them involved. Did he leave 2 tickets for Elvis?
Back when he was the head coach at Houston, I said, did you always leave 2 tickets for Elvis? He said, we just did it 1 game. He didn't show up, so we didn't leave tickets again.
2nd down and 5. Terrain on a draw play. Nice hole over that left side. Loose ball, still loose. And Hawaii says they have it. Hawaii football coming back the other way from the 10-yard line. Myron Newberry, number 38 for the Warriors, recovered the loose ball.
Well, Arizona State on this opening drive running the ball effectively, and just a great job by Hawaii, both attacking the football and with the strip. And it looked like Myron Newberry came up with the recovery, as you said, Mark, but a great job by the Rainbow Warriors rallying to the football.
Well, folks, if you haven't seen Colt Brennan, this is a great opportunity, especially for those of you on the East Coast. 1st down and 10 coming back the other way for the most prolific quarterback in college football this year, statistically anyway. Part of that run and shoot. Little shuffle pass to Bess. And let's meet the Hawaii offense.
Aloha, everybody. I'm Ikaika Francis, starting defensive end for the University of Hawaii. I'm here to introduce the starting lineup, who whoops me every day in practice, and I get frustrated, but I hang with it. We got my main man, Colt Brennan, the gunslinger, who's slinging it to number 7, Devon Bess. Sure hands, never drops a pass. But up front, we got the big boys. Samson Tatele, who's the center of destruction, and Tali Serra, who, man, you better watch out, Arizona State, because he's coming after you.
When you have a guy named Samson and Hercules, David, on your offensive line, you're in business. 2nd down and 6. Brennan trying to pull the trigger again. A little bit high and incomplete. Intended once again for Bess as we made the Sun Devil defense now.
How's it? My name is Brandon Rod, defensive tackle from Arizona State. I grew up right here in Aiea, Hawaii. I'm here to introduce the defense. I know these guys the best since I go against them every single day. First, we got Dexter Davis, defensive end, freshman All-American. In the backfield, we got the safety tandem of Josh Barrett, the fastest man on the planet, and Zach the Cat Kennedys.
Josh Barrett is a stud at that safety spot. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Hawaii trying to move the ball after the turnover off the fumble by Terrain. Brennan complete to Bess for the 1st down at the 30-yard line. Devon Bess, 2nd team all-WAC this year, working against Josh Barrett. And interesting matchups, David, with those different receivers.
Well, and it's really tough, especially the slot receivers for Hawaii. Devon Bess has had a terrific year. 180 catches for Bess over the last 2 years. where they put so much pressure on you as a secondary. And Mark, when you talk about all the numbers that Colt Brennan has posted this year, a lot of people think, hey, he played a cupcake schedule. This team lined up against Alabama, a Boise State, a team that's going to be in a BCS game, Oregon State, Purdue. I mean, he's played some tough defenses to compile these numbers.
Brennan fires complete. This one is to Grice-Mullens. And another first down beyond the 41-yard line. Brennan, by the way, has just gone over 5,000 yards passing for the season. 5,000 yards is 5,000 yards. I don't care what league you're talking about. There's a look at the man that he's chasing, David Klingler, formerly of Houston. Record set back in 1990. Throws the ball just beyond the 40-yard line. This is the first offensive sequence for the Warriors. Is the lone back. This is a favorite play of theirs. A little shuffle pass to Alawa. He is a bowling ball and lethal in the open field. You got to wrap him up. And he gave a little Christmas present to the DB on that who tried to tackle him. Good block from Jason Rivers, too. Nate Alawa.
Well, the shovel pass was an addition to this offense. About 7 games into the season a year ago, June Jones was saying, hey, we do not have a good draw game. We're lining up in the shotgun. We need a way to block it like a draw, but to get more suction from those defensive players and selling the pass. And so they've gone to the shovel pass. He says, we block it like a draw. We just go ahead and shovel it forward. And if you combine the numbers that Alawa had running the football with the shovel pass, he'd be over 1,300 yards this season.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is pretty much a running play for them. First down and 10 after the gain of 33 yards. This time they run it Alawa again, breaking a couple of tackles down to the 23-yard line as we go down to Heather on the sideline.
Well, Mark, no coincidence that Nate Alawa keeps running to the left. Those 2 plays, both to his left side. The reason why, he's got a deep bruise in his left heel. He said there's no pain when he goes straight ahead, but plenty of pain when he's planting and cutting to his right. So Jones said it's simple. We'll just keep him going to his left. He opted out of having a cortisone shot, not even wearing tape because he doesn't feel like he has good grip on the field. So far, I think the plan's working just fine for Hawaii.
Alawa's endured through a lot of adversity. The coaches at times have challenged his work ethic. Undergone shoulder surgery, knee surgery. Came in here at 185 pounds as a freshman. He's 248 today. Brennan under heat and goes down under the weight of that defensive front for the Sun Devils back at the 28-yard line. Walter White making the stop, blitzing.
Well, Arizona State is going to have to bring pressure at times in this football game. You just don't line up and cover the Warriors down the football field. You got to disrupt Colt Brennan. You've got to get into the backfield, create some 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations. The Sun Devils, one of the better pass rushing teams in the Pac-10 over the course of this season.
Remember, last time Arizona State played, their defense knocked the starting quarterback from Arizona out of the ballgame. 3rd and 13 for Hawaii. Little receiver screen to Bess. Tries to turn it up north-south. Actually, that's Sample. And Sample is going to be stopped up short of the first down, and they're saying it's a loose ball down in the field. John Estes. Satete came out of the pile with the ball. It's going to remain Hawaii football. 4th down coming up, and Dan Kelly, the place kicker, coming onto the field for the Warriors. So the Sun Devils, David, able to stop them down to the 25. And here comes Kelly, who was 11 of 14 on the year, to try and attempt the field goal here.
Well, this offense for Hawaii led the country 74 touchdowns. 2nd place team in that category. Louisville 58 touchdowns. Quite a difference between the number 1, number 2 teams in the country. So big stop whenever you force a field goal try by the Warriors.
This coming from 42 yards out, and he pulls it to the left. He struggled in their last game against Oregon State, missing 2 early ones, but that was under severe windy conditions. Bit of a Christmas gift for Dirk Cutter. We'll see what his offense does when we come back.
Go somewhere different. Somewhere exotic. Somewhere exciting. Somewhere you've always dreamed about. Tahiti. Starwood Hotel's Royal Romance package to Tahiti includes sunset massages, private Motu picnic, dinner, tours, and more. Call 1-866-716-8170 or visit us online now at starwoodtahiti.com.
13 plays narrowed to 4, and now fans will decide which school wins the Pontiac Game-Changing Performance of the Year.
Eric Wilbur to kick to Dunn. Look out! And they got him! Loose ball! Touchdown Auburn! And boy, they fumbled to snap the ball, picked up by Adams, and Gaines Adams is going to take it the distance, and just like that, Clemson gets a free one. This is the game right here. They've got to go in. They hand off up the middle, and Iowa holds them and wins. Iowa with a great goal line defense wins it 20-13 in the second overtime.
Go to Pontiac.com/NCAA to vote for the play that had the biggest impact this season. The school receiving the most votes by January 4th will earn a $100,000 scholarship from Pontiac for the Pontiac Game-Changing Performance of the Year.
At Samuel Adams, we have 18 award-winning beers. We can't wait to make the next one.
Every year, we bring out a new style of Sam Adams.
And you can try the winning style in our Brewmaster 6-pack.
Yeah. We want to make the best of that style that an American beer drinker can get.
On December 26th, return every lame present you got. Pick up the unrated DVD you must own. With hilarious stuff too outrageous for theaters. Jackass #2.
It is naughty, not nice.
You guys run the double team a lot, right?
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. Book your trip online today.
Here comes old St. Nicholas, got a surfboard on his sleigh. Come on, kids, gather round. Well, Santa's catching waves.
Thought that might be Santa riding the old bonsai pipeline on the North Shore. Back here at Aloha Stadium, Arizona State with the football after the missed field goal by Kelly. Now 4 for 8 from 40 to 49 yards out. First down and 10 for Arizona State from the 25-yard line. Arizona State fumbled last time they had the ball by Ryan Terrain, who's back in the ball game. It'll be interesting to see how those safeties do against that running game, especially Leonard Peters, number 42.
The Sun Devils did a nice job in the opening possession, coming out, establishing the run game, and I look for them to use some play action here on the second drive, get the All-American tight end Zach Miller involved down the field.
4:20 to go in the first period. Carpenter for Jones, and Mike Jones still on his feet. Just like the famous rapper Mike Jones. Back then they didn't want him. Now he's hot. And they're all on him. Jones with the first down.
Yeah, this was an exceptional ball from Rudy Carpenter. Fade route up the sidelines, and Jones a great job of going up high, securing the football. Pretty good coverage by the Warriors in the secondary. You look at the cornerbacks for Hawaii. Not very big, 5'9" and 5'10". Arizona State's going to try to exploit the size of them.
First and 10 from near midfield. DeWitty. And DeWitty looking good in the early part of the ball game. Down to the 45. Terrain on the carry that time. And time for a 30-30 update with Reese Davis. Reese?
Mark, I cannot imagine a worse way to lose a football game. Bengals and Denver, this for the tying extra point, and Brad St. Louis's snap goes wide. Kyle Larson couldn't even get it down. Denver hangs on 24-23. And Peyton Manning goes over 4,000 yards for the 7th straight year. That is an NFL record, but the Colts lost. Sports Center after the game.
You're right, Reese. Couldn't imagine a worse way to lose a football game. And a lost football. Terrain fumbling again. It's still loose. And Arizona State's Mike Jones. Hey, that's why he's arguably the best center fielder on the baseball team. He can field a little bit and catch like he did on the previous play.
Well, teams come over for the mainland for a bowl game, sometimes for a regular season game. And you've got football players, they're on mopeds, they're swimming, they're surfing. You always wonder how they're going to react. Orion Terrain has not come out in this football game and looked very focused securing the football. Very fortunate that Jones was able to cover the football.
In for Terrain is DeWitty. Picked up a few yards on the sequence as well. Davis, the 73, moving prematurely on the offensive line.
Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Dirk Cutter coaching his final game at Arizona State. His whereabouts after this game still unknown. Well, helped decide the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. Vote at ESPN.com. Search Pontiac to determine which school will win the $100,000 General Scholarship Fund contribution courtesy of Pontiac. Dimitri Nance now in a tailback. Nice hit that time by Patek. There's those safeties coming up, David.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Glanville, a defensive coordinator, this week. I said, Coach, you going to bring some safeties up? You going to get them involved against this impressive run game for the Sun Devils? He said, David, there's going to be a whole lot more people than just the safeties up on the line of scrimmage. You know, he talked to Coach Glanville, and he says, we're not going to have anybody playing any deeper than 7-8 yards. And you can see it early in this football game. Hawaii really committing to the line of scrimmage, and like we said at the top, Rudy Carpenter's going to have some shots down the field.
On 2nd down and 12. Looked like they were trying to set up a little jailbreak screen, but it's incomplete. And Carpenter ended up on his wallet back at the 42-yard line. And Jerry Glanville keeps an interesting stat. He likes to put hits on the quarterback at 21. He says that's when things start to happen in their favor.
Well, he said we get the quarterback on his back 20 times, and it doesn't have to be a sack. He talks about putting the quarterback on the turf after the release of the football. He counts that as well, but he says after 20 times, then I go ahead and tell him we're going to switch up the defense.
He says that's when most turnovers and interceptions come, after that 20th hit. 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Sun Devils. Sean DeWitty in the backfield. A 3-receiver formation for Rudy Carpenter. And pressure coming off the edge. They almost got to him. And it's incomplete in the end zone. But they dialed up a little bit of heat as Adam Leonard applied the pressure on Carpenter, forcing the incompletion. 4th down coming up.
Well, that is all part of the Hawaii scheme defensively. The knockout shots, the head hunting, and the aggressiveness. And defensively, they're trying to get Rudy Carpenter out of his game early. They've been successful getting to him in the pocket early in this football game.
Jesse Ainsworth now to attempt the field goal from 44 yards out. From this distance, he's 9 of 24 in his career. Oh, nice little hook right there. And knocks it through. Arizona State scoring the first points of the ball game with just under 2 minutes to go here in the first period. In the 5th edition of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, it's the Sun Devils with the lead.
The Hawaiian Islands are surrounded by some of the most pristine water on Earth. It can be exhilarating, inviting, challenging, soothing, and still leave you thirsty for more.
The people of Hawaii would like to share their islands with you. Dive in at GoHawaii.com.
The final days of the Pontiac Red Tag event is the time to find Pontiacs designed with power, impressive fuel economy, and the best coverage in America. And now find them tagged in red. And the price on that tag is the price you pay. The Pontiac Red Tag event. Your last chance to get the best factory to dealer incentives of the year. But only until January 2nd. See some red, save some green.
Guess what, Chad? We hooked it up so our customers can talk to 5 friends on any network for free.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the only thing better would be 10 friends on any network for free.
Dude, that's double. That's like twice as much.
That's like 2 of your plans.
Okay, I get it.
And with my circle, you get to keep your mobile-to-mobile minutes.
You take those away? Shh, you're embarrassing us in front of Chad. We are so having a meeting when we get back to the food court.
Get people talking this holiday with gift cards and new phones from Alltel Wireless.
Long John Silver's has some exciting news you're going to love. It's a fast food first.
Buttered lobster bites are back. Rich, real Langostino lobster in a buttery breading. Incredibly just $2.99. Only at Long John Silver's.
It's ready.
Introducing Gillette Fusion Hydrogel. Fusion's hydrating emollients and lubricants form an invisible layer that protects your skin from the first stroke to the last, adding more comfort to your shave. Gillette Fusion Hydrogel.
ESPN College Football, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, is presented by Alltel Wireless. Come and get your love. Alltel. Want to choose who you call for free? Get My Circles. And in part by Sheraton Hotels, because you don't just stay here, you belong. And Pontiac. Vote now for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year at ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac. A $100,000 scholarship contribution is on the line.
Arizona State taking the lead after that 7-play, 48-yard drive, culminating in that 44-yard field goal by Ainsworth. And that is Dickerson back for the kickoff, along with Malcolm Lane for Hawaii. The most prolific team in college football this year has not scored a point yet, with just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Dickerson about 4 yards deep. Stopped up way short of the 20 at the 15-yard line. Well, folks, when we come back after this break, we will meet the originator of this run-and-shoot offense. He's the mad scientist that made it all happen. We'll be back after this.
NCAA fans are now being rewarded with $100,000 in scholarships from Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. Go to any Pontiac dealer and ask for a scholarship certificate with a unique code. Enter your code at Pontiac.com/scholarship for your chance to win a $50,000 scholarship. Plus, you could instantly win one of 10 $5,000 scholarships, all to help you or your family pay for school. But only if you get to a Pontiac dealer by January 2nd.
Continues with Florida State UCLA in the Emerald Bowl. Coverage begins Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
From the director of Hero and House of Flying Daggers, one of the year's most spectacularly visual film treats, sumptuous and opulent, Gong Li is sensational. Chow Yun-Fat, Gong Li, Curse of the Golden Flower, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
The damage isn't too bad.
It's my son. He's just learning how to drive.
Here's your repair check, sir.
Wow, that was fast.
Whoa, whoa, great.
Instant claim settlement. Discover the AIG Advantage. Get your free auto insurance quote today.
Probably going to see you guys again real soon.
And welcome back, everyone. Well, tomorrow night, Jason Taylor leads a tough Dolphin defense against Chad Pennington and a Jets team fighting for its playoff life. Is it Monday yet? Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. And boy, Eric Mangini, you would think, would garner a lot of votes for Coach of the Year this year. June Jones watching along as his offense on the field. First down and 10. Brennan 5 of 6 passing so far for 67 yards. Pulling the trigger on this run and shoot. Throwing it back. Well set up. Out beyond the 30-yard line. Ilawa gets the first down. This run and shoot has so many varied parts and movements and motions to it, doesn't it?
Well, and you get a defense and they play the pass. They get into their nickel defense. Go ahead and roll it, guys. But you're going to see motion here with Brennan on the boot to the right side. Actually, it's just a straight sprint out, and then he throws the screen pass back to the middle of the football field. So many variations. When a defense starts to play pass, they can drop it underneath to these big, talented backs.
Picked up 17 that time. Ilawa again getting across the edge in the open field. A bowling ball on the loose. They call him nasty. Nate Ilawa down to the 32 and got a good block up front from the right side of that offensive line.
He also got a hold. And this run's coming back.
Right down to the 34.
And this play's coming back, but how about Nate Ilawa? Led the country in yards per carry, 7.9 yards per carry, just short of 8 yards a rush.
Holding. Offense, number 72, penalized 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Mainu Pereza, the culprit on that play.
Back to Nate Ilawa. I mean, he is a guy that not only can run you over, but can get to the edge. And was a high school athlete on the East Coast. Was originally scheduled to go and play slot receiver for Virginia Tech. Came out to Hawaii, hooked up with the offensive lineman, started to eat with them, and all of a sudden he's a tailback at 250 pounds.
Came in at 185. Pardon me, David. He told us yesterday he was down to 247. Aouia in the ball game for him. This pass complete to Rivers, and Rivers gets the first down beyond the 42 out at the 44-yard line. He picked up 20 on that play.
Just beautiful movement in the pocket. We talked about Mouse Davis, the originator of the run and shoot offense before the break. He was really the father of this offense. 2 wideouts, 2 slot receivers, a running back in the backfield. And June Jones played for him at Portland State.
Look at some of the quarterbacks that have been in that system. They've put up some impressive, productive numbers. Mouse Davis, I just call him Darryl. He is the Dr. Frankenstein of football with that run and shoot. And Colt Brennan led the nation in 6 different offensive categories this year, including total offense, touchdown passes, passing efficiency, total passing yards, and points responsible for among them. That's going to be the end of the first 15 minutes of play. First quarter is in the books. The Brain Trust meeting before the game, the Haka, part of the great pregame ceremony. Right now, it's Arizona State with the lead when we come back.
Capital One Bowl Week, December 26th through January 1st on ESPN.
Hawaii's best locations, best beaches, and best deals. Visit starwoodhotels.com/Hawaii for the best online rates guaranteed, or call your travel agent.
The final days of the Pontiac Red Tag event is the time to find Pontiacs designed with power, impressive fuel economy, and the best coverage in America. And now find them tagged in red. And the price on that tag is the price you pay. The Pontiac Red Tag event. Your last chance to get the best factory-to-dealer incentives of the year, but only until January 2nd. See some red, save some green.
They call it the season of hope, the season of joy, the season of light. When parents seem more like children, and children more like angels. And on behalf of your good neighbors at State Farm, we want to wish you and yours all the hope, joy, and light the season has to bring.
Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Here's a radically simple suggestion from eLoan. If your adjustable mortgage rate keeps rising, maybe it's time to call eLoan at 1-800-TRY-ELOAN or go to eLoan.com for a fixed-rate mortgage with one low monthly payment. eLoan. Radically simple.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESPN's Bowl Road Trip and the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. 5th edition, 3-0 right now. The Sun Devils out of the Pac-10 leading. And Colt Brennan at quarterback for Hawaii in a very unfamiliar position right now. They've outscored their opponents by a huge margin during the course of the season. That not the case today. Reagan Mauia in a tailback beside Brennan. Plenty of time. Fires complete to Rivers at the 39-yard line. Jason Rivers with the catch. And the first down for the Warriors.
A big question after this game is over, and I know a lot of people out here on Oahu want to know the answer. Will Colt Brennan move on and go to the pros? And these are the type of throws that make you think he might be ready to move on. The Rivers in a bunch formation, running the post corner route, and look at that ball, out on time. I mean, this guy is a spot thrower, and his movement in the pocket, sliding to his left, very effective.
Picked up 17 yards on that play. Complete to Grice-Mullens. And Grice-Mullens down to the 32, brought down by Ryan McFoy. And for more on Brennan, let's go to Heather.
Well, David was just talking about his decision whether or not to go to the NFL. He told me he's relying on Coach Jones's expertise to really guide him through that decision. Coach Jones then told me that tomorrow morning, even though it's Christmas, he's going to fax the junior NFL evaluation request form to the NFL offices, which starts the process. Then 6 scouts from 6 different teams evaluate Colt by January 15th, which provides Colt the info he and his family need to decide whether or not he'll declare himself eligible for the draft, guys.
2nd down and 2, a lot depending on that feedback that he gets from the various teams and scouts. Brennan given time again, going up top. And it's incomplete, intended for Grice-Mullens. Good coverage on the corner from Jeremy Payton. What do you think? You think he's out, or is he coming back? What would you recommend?
Well, if I was acting as an advisor for Colt Brennan, I would tell him to come back for another year. And you visit with the coaches for Hawaii. They talk about him getting in the weight room some more, getting more of an NFL body, and I agree. He's not quite strong enough yet. He doesn't quite have the presence in the pocket. You know, he's got great intangibles. He has the accuracy, but I think he will improve significantly in terms of the draft order if he stays for one more year here under June Jones.
3rd down and 2 coming up. Brennan is 9 of 11. A little shuffle pass, and this is complete to Ilawa, who got the first down, crossing the 30 down to the 29. Mike Nixon made the stop. Actually dragged him forward, it appeared, David, to give him the first down.
Well, we talked about Mouse Davis, who now is the running backs coach for the University of Hawaii, but back at Portland State, when he had quarterbacks like June Jones and Neil Lomax, the quarterbacks were lining up under center. Now they go from the shotgun, and to run that effective draw action, you got to use the shovel pass and just one more wrinkle over the years to really help this offense along and become as effective as it's been over the course of this season.
Mouse Davis, the coach in the USFL and the CFL of the Toronto Argonauts. Rich Holloway was his trigger man back then. 1st down and 10. Ilawa gets those shoulders squared away and pushed out of bounds at the 23. And here's what head coach June Jones had to say about his starting quarterback.
I just basically told him, that, off of what I've seen off your junior college film, I think you might be one of the best ones that I've ever looked at. And if you trust me on this and walk on, I said, in a year or 2, you might be the first quarterback taken in the National Football League.
Yeah, June Jones says physically he's the best that I've coached, and that includes guys like Jeff George, who says he threw the ball better, but doesn't make all the plays that Brennan has so far. 2nd down and 5. Trying to make a play here, throwing back against his body, and it's dropped. Sample was wide open. and might have had himself 6 points.
He walks into the end zone if he makes this catch. And, quarterbacks that can throw from different platforms and different arm positions, I think they're going to be the quarterbacks that you have the most success with. And how about throwing back against his body, finding Sample moving back to his right? That just gives you a snapshot of the athletic ability of Colt Brennan on that last play. Should have gone for 6.
Dropped down 3/4 on that one. 3rd down and 5 coming up now. 9th play of the Hawaii drive. Brennan, and he's going to be sacked back at the 25-yard line. And 4th down coming up for the Warriors.
It looks like June Jones is going to go with Kelly again. Another field goal try. And after that first miss by Kelly, this is a bit of a decision here for June Jones. I know that he had to think about it there because his offense very capable of picking up 3rd and 6.
And this kick is going to come from about 42 yards out. Missed one earlier today. Missed from this very distance in the first quarter. And Kelly knocks this one through as Hawaii finally gets on the scoreboard after about 18 minutes. When we come back, Rudy Carpenter, who was the subject of a lot of controversy to start the season, still trying to justify his head coach's choice to go with him as the #1 guy. More on that when we come back.
The Jets take on the Dolphins tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN Monday Night Football.
With unmatched technology and innovation years ahead of its time, we've pushed the boundaries of high definition and tested the limits of reality. The new Pure Vision 1080p Elite Plasma Display, only from Pioneer.
Okay, see you later.
Our SUVs, as much fun as our bikes.
You think you can handle it?
Can you? Introducing the all-new midsize Suzuki XL7. It's going to be a great ride.
Plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high.
What a marvelously glorious looking shape. What a superbly spectacular marvel of rotating titanium.
I love this shaver.
For a close, comfortable shave, get the new Remington Titanium Rotary. This holiday, give and ye shall receive. Visit our website for a limited time offer.
The Rainbow Warriors looking for their 11th win of the season, which would be a school record. Right now the game knotted at 3 apiece. Arizona State set to receive this kickoff. McGahey and Tryon back deep. There's a look at the total yardage so far. McGahey from the 8. And McGahey stopped up at the 28-yard line. Well, this was a very vitriolic August, an off-season prior to this season for Arizona State. When you talk about the quarterbacking position, Rudy Carpenter was named the starter, and Sam Keller transferred to Nebraska. This after certain information became available after the head coach Dirk Cutter actually named Keller the starter. So he switched his mind. Then they won the first 3 games under Carpenter. Then they went 0-3 after that, evened out at 500. And Dirk Cutter, after their win against Arizona in their last game, was dismissed, given the option to coach this last game. Dennis Erickson hired as the new head coach. And Rudy Carpenter was in the middle of a very stormy early part of the season. Sean DeWitty, the tailback, on 1st down and 10. Play fake. Tons of room. Carpenter with real estate all the way out to midfield, the 50-yard line, where he's finally stopped up. But more than enough for the 1st down for the Sun Devils.
Rudy Carpenter at the quarterback position shows a nice knack for decision-making when he wants to pull a football down. And when you have a passing quarterback that can recognize man-to-man coverage down the field, feel the rush upfield from the defensive ends and make a break, he can be effective. That's a nice little part of Rudy Carpenter's game.
Dimitri Nance now in at tailback. After that 17-yard pickup, another play fake. And Carpenter overshoots Brent Miller. That's the brother of Zach Miller, the All-American tight end. But let's get back to Carpenter for a second. It was interesting, the last time we saw them against USC, Cutter had just given him a tape of a bunch of plays, some 65 plays, a cut-up of some of the great plays that he made from the previous season, just to get his confidence level back up.
Well, in the opening 2 games of the Pac-10 schedule, Rudy Carpenter had really lost his way. A 3 for 21 performance against Oregon. Sun Devils were handled by Cal and Oregon. And I think after he saw that film, this team turned around in their performance against USC.
Pressure on Carpenter. Going up top for Mike Jones. And it's incomplete down to the 3-yard line. Lewis back there in defense. It'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up for Arizona State. One more look.
You can't play a receiver on a deep ball any better than this. Now Lewis was all over Jones. And look at him watch the eyes of Jones. Jerry Glanville, the defensive coordinator, teaches these defensive backs to never look back for the football. They squat at the arm and they watch the eyes of the receiver. You don't see a lot of defensive coordinators coach that type of defense in the secondary, but Glanville's had a lot of success over the years.
Conspicuous by his silence so far. The guy you just saw, Miller, as they set up the screen to DeWitty, who has nice blocking ahead of him. DeWitty still on his feet, picking up the 1st down at the 24-yard line of Hawaii. A well-executed play, a pickup of 26.
You line up against a defense that's taking big shots at you, looking to intimidate you as an offense, playing aggressively. If you can spring a couple well-timed screen passes, you can make some hay. Great timing by Carpenter to sell the pass and then drop the football down to DeWitty.
Terrain back in the ball game now. We have yet to see Keegan Herring in the ball game for Arizona State. We had a little bit of an accident on the streets of Waikiki earlier. This is Terrain brought down at the 24-yard line by Jacob Contek. That was, considering one of the more hazardous things out here, they got sharks in the ocean, okay. They got big waves, okay. But what about these mopeds, scooters? Herring, earlier this week, number 24, the tailback for Arizona State, was sideswiped by a truck and got knocked over. I saw him by the elevators in the hotel, had a bunch of scrapes on his arms and legs, and on his grill, on his face, and I said, Mark, it's just a little Neosporin. That's all I need, I'm good.
It's tough turning loose 65, 70 young college athletes on the streets of Honolulu for 5 nights.
Tried to set up another screen. That one incomplete.
And it's always a delicate balance, Mark Jones. Teams come over for a bowl game or they come over for a regular season game. You want to have your kids have some fun. You want to introduce them to some of the culture and some of the fun things, but also you're trying to get ready for a football game. And teams don't want to come over here and get embarrassed. And so it's always a gray area as to how you handle your kids and how you handle those nighttime activities.
Still Cutter with an interesting comment in his outgoing press conference after he was dismissed. Tell you about it after this play. He's coaching his last game, and he calls for a timeout. Cutter told the media, when you introduce the next head coach, don't tell him that all you have to do is beat Arizona to make everybody happy, because he was very successful against their arch rivals, the Wildcats. Believe it. We'll be back after this.
No, Mickey. Mickey. No. Stop that, Mickey. Stop it. Stop that. Oh, Mickey, calm down. Mickey, calm down. Mickey, calm down.
Hawaii's best locations, best beaches, and best deals. Visit starwoodhotels.com/Hawaii for the best online rates guaranteed, or call your travel agent.
Are our cars as much fun as our bikes? Introducing the new 2007s from Suzuki. It's going to be a great ride.
If you want to quit smoking, today's your day. Introducing new Commit Cherry Lozenges. Quitting smoking just got a little tastier.
We worked on Sam Adams Light for over 2 years. The whole brewing staff was dedicated.
Sam Adams Light reaches a level of flavor that light beer has never gotten to before.
Yeah, who do you know?
Kids, we're going to visit the land of our ancestors.
Ireland?
No. Credit card miles expired. Think more distant relatives. This is great! Hey, it's me, Cousin Bob! Going down.
We gotta switch to Capital One.
Get Capital One's no-hassle rewards with no miles expiration, no earn caps, and no blackout dates.
See, kids, first class all the way. Something smells good.
Are you? How strong are you? How imposing can you be? The best way to prove yourself is to play in a game like this. USC, Michigan. In the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi, New Year's Day.
And if Michigan's over the disappointment of not being able to play for the national championship.
You look at the last two Rose Bowls, Texas USC for the title last year, and then Texas Michigan the year before. I don't think we've seen a more exciting Rose Bowl game than we've seen in the last 2 years.
On 3rd and 10, Carpenter comes underneath, complete at the 20, but short of the first down. That was Brent Miller, the brother of Zach Miller, stopped by Adam Leonard, so it's 4th down coming up with about 3 to go for the Sun Devils. And Zach Miller, the All-American tight end, still without a reception in this game.
Hawaii has had trouble with tight ends all year long. In the finale against Oregon State, Big Joe Newton had a lot of success. Arizona State figures to exploit that throughout this football game.
They're going to go for it here, David, on 4th down from the 17-yard line. 4th and 2 to go. Carpenter, incomplete. They blew the play up. Purcell came up huge with the pressure on Carpenter. And Hawaii will take over on downs.
Exceptional job by Malila Purcell. On a bootleg as a quarterback, you come out blind. Rudy Carpenter, play action to the left, you come out blind, and there's Purcell right in your face mask. And not a lot you can do as a quarterback. You've got to trust on your backside that you're going to have some room to operate. Great play by Purcell coming off the edge from his defensive end position.
And we talked about defensive coordinator Jerry Glanville counting those hits on the quarterback, Rudy Carpenter. So far, we've counted 6. The magic number is 20. 1st down and 10 coming back the other way. In a surprisingly low-scoring game. Nate Ilawa in a tailback. Ilawa, 249 pounds. Tackle him if you can. 1st down. You know, David, already in this game, I've seen some DBs not really wanting to hit him. That time, Walter White came up and missed the tackle.
Well, and he's shown us some moves that have absolutely frozen safeties for Arizona State. And Zach Catanese, a big part of this defense, is already down. He may not return. Josh Barrett one of the top safeties in the country, number 19, eventually makes the tackle. But Alawa, at 250 pounds, he's shown the ability to gain the corner.
First down and 10, and now Reagan Mawia comes in for Ilawa. Brennan goes through his progression nicely and finds a receiver at the 43-yard line. That was Jason Rivers who made the catch, the 6'2 junior, former state sprint champ, using his speed to get open, working against Walter White.
And not many quarterbacks have the confidence of their head coach to slide to the left and then throw crossing routes back across their body. But that is a big part of this run and shoot offense. Slot receivers working down the field. You know, this is really the pioneer offense. The top passing offense is really the first offensive scheme where wide receivers have the ability to read and to switch their routes up after the snap of the football.
Pickup of 11 yards. It's first and 10. And he's picked off that time. One too many in the direction of Josh Barrett. And he made him pay. Brennan, who's completed 72% on the season, that time with the first turnover of the ball game for Hawaii.
Well, and they were looking for Rivers on the fade, and this is just a great job by Barrett getting over the top. And Josh Barrett is going to play at the next level. 4.3 speed. He's actually been timed in a sub 4.3 several times in workouts for Arizona State. A big hitter. Has nice size for a safety. You love safeties that can play the football in the air like that.
First down and 10. Keegan Herring in the ball game. That's a lot easier maybe dodging Hawaii defenders than it is trucks on a moped sideswiping you. That time of night's game by Herring.
Well, I'm not sure Colt Brennan has seen a free safety make breaks on the football quite like that throughout this season. Josh Barrett will catch your attention in a hurry, not only coming up to make hits in the run game, but he is very good in space against the pass game.
He was voted the team's defensive MVP. Second down and 6 for Arizona State. Carpenter finds Mike Jones. They're going to rule it complete. Jones doing a nice job of keeping those feet in bounds at the 48-yard line. Mike Jones pretty much becoming the comfort zone for quarterback Rudy Carpenter. Picked up 15.
I think the story, you see the drastic drop-off offensively for the Sun Devils off of last year. They were the number 2 offense in the country a year ago, 519 yards a game, but just a decimated group of wide receivers. Not just in terms of injuries, but graduations. Sun Devils lost Derek Hagan, the all-time leader in receptions, Pac-10 history.
Herring back in the ball game. Nice hold between the tackles. Somebody lost a hat. And Herring is brought down at about the 47-yard line by Adam Leonard.
People talked about the drop-off with Carpenter. He led the country in pass efficiency a year ago. But you lose a receiver like Derek Hagan. They had Moe Mutz, Matt Miller, all graduated. And then guys like Terry Richardson, Rudy Burgess injured, Jamal Lewis didn't play much at all this season. Carpenter really throwing the first-year guys, and it showed throughout the season.
Second down and 5. This is Dimitri Nance trying to get to the edge and collared and brought down to the 44-yard line by Newberry. Be a little bit short, apparently, of the first down.
Yeah, we figured to see Nance. Ryan Terrain and Keegan Herring, a great 1-2 punch at tailback, but Nance, a true freshman with the type of talent level that you cannot deny him carries. And Dirk Cutter was talking throughout the week about getting Nance some carries in this bowl game.
Third down and 1. Ryan Terrain continuing the rotation at tailback. Terrain, that's part of the reason why they nicknamed him Train. And the locomotive that time for the first down at the 37-yard line. Terrain, over 100. Herring, Nance, all doing it, Dave.
Yeah, Terrain went over 190 yards against Cal, and this turned into a running team mid-season. I know the Sun Devils looked at that Oregon State-Hawaii tape and watched the way that the Beavers controlled the ball on the ground. That figured to be a big part of this ball game, controlling this football in between the tackles.
Vincent Bernard of the Beavers had a nice running game against that Hawaii defense. Pressure off the edge. Carpenter. Jones open. Touchdown. Brandon Smith got him behind the defense. 37 yards for the strike. He had a couple of receivers, and Brandon Smith was the one who was most open. And Arizona State with the game's first touchdown.
That's real. EA Sports. It's in the game, baby.
Ainsworth for the extra point. Well, without Kimbrough, without Richardson, without Burgess, June Jones has to worry now about Brandon Smith. One of those emerging young receivers, a redshirt freshman, for the first touchdown of the game. 10-3 when we come back to Aloha Stadium.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
It looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
That is one great look.
Whoa, hold on, honey. Showing Tom the floor.
Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield, America's best-selling premium garage floor coating. Just prep and go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. For a high-gloss showroom finish, top coat with Epoxy Shield premium clear coating.
Man, how are we going to compete with that?
Hey guys, for the holidays we've got this buy one, get one free razor deal. So I got you gifts.
Wow, thanks a lot, Chad.
Look, Chad, we don't want your stupid phones.
I kind of do. Yeah, I finally have a razor.
Man, you guys have no shame.
That's mine!
Right now at Altel Wireless, buy one razor and get a second one free. It's the deal of the holidays, so go to shopaltel.com today.
Are our SUVs as much fun as our bikes?
You think you can handle it?
Can you? Introducing the all-new midsize Suzuki XL7. It's going to be a great ride.
And I don't even have that insurance.
What insurance, Santa?
The one that pays you cash if you're hurt and can't work.
Huh?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Can you just set down the toys?
ESPN College Football, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, is presented by Altel Wireless. Come and get your love. Altel. Want to choose who you call for free? Get My Circles. And in part by Suzuki Automotive. It's going to be a great ride. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Well, the score coming off of Barrett's third interception of the season, 6 plays, 71 yards. And Brandon Smith right there with a touchdown catch, 37 yards for the score. Arizona State leading 10-3, the nation's most prolific offense in neutral right now with just 3 points. From the 3-yard line, it's Dickerson. Forward to the 24, and one more look at that touchdown to Brandon Smith.
So Rudy Carpenter caught Hawaii in a blitz, and this looks like Peters coming off the edge. You're going to get McGahey on a flag route, and then the go route by Brandon Smith. Gerard Lewis working man-to-man against Brandon Smith, and the key here is the throw. Can't throw a better ball on that play than Rudy Carpenter. And Rudy Carpenter, if you give him opportunities and you have receivers running open down the field, he's going to take advantage.
Let's see what Colt Brennan can do coming back the other way on 1st down and 10. Crowd here at Aloha Stadium in stunned silence pretty much. Here's Alawa. And Alawa plowing his way down to the 33-yard line. Right now it's time for our Aflac Trivia question. This week's question. The International Bowl will be played January 6th in Toronto, Canada. Cincinnati against Western Michigan. When was the last bowl game played off of U.S. soil?
I don't think I got any idea on this one. I think this one might involve David Klingler.
Japan,
which is right on point.
Yeah, with the run and shoot thing.
And with Colt Brennan chasing Klingler, 54 touchdown.
Reagan Mawia now in at tailback as Ilawa comes out of the game. Brennan is 11 of 15 so far, but threw an interception on the last sequence, which led to the Arizona State touchdown. This pass complete to Rivers at the 42. Walter White making the stop on the play for Arizona State. You know what, David? It's interesting. With the last game being coached by Dirk Cutter of Arizona State right now, it would be easy for the players and the coaching staff en masse to just let go of the rope. But so far, with 4:01 to go in the first half, they've acquitted themselves extremely well. This is a team that came in prepared and ready to play. That says a lot about the intent and the resolve of Dirk Cutter.
Right. Dirk Cutter did a great job keeping this team focused when it looked like some were going to abandon ship on the Sun Devils after those two crushing defeats against Cal and Oregon mid-season.
There's the shovel pass. Ulawa brought down short of the 45-yard line. Let's talk a little bit more about Ulawa. You know, Jones has had a lot of players like him, like the late Craig Ironhead Hayward, Jamal Anderson, Alonzo Highsmith. Strong running backs, David, that he says didn't quite have the moves that Ulawa has. That's quite high praise for Ulawa.
You look at his build, 248 pounds, and we talked about some of the problems. He came in the conditioning drills a year ago, really disappointed June Jones. June was furious about his conditioning coming into the 2005 season, but you look at his frame, he doesn't want to run you over. He wants to make you miss.
2nd down and 7. Brennan sacked back at the 40-yard line. Dexter Davis, who was all freshman in the Pac-10 and a freshman All-American, with the sack. His 7th of the season and the 3rd of the game for the team. That's Lenu Pereza down on the field for Hawaii.
Well, and if you're going to have success against this offense, #1 offense in the country in total yards, scoring offense, it looked like Uparesa got bent backwards, and the right knee was compromised there. But all the numbers that this Hawaii offense has put up, you've got to get them behind the chains. You got to get them 2nd and long situations, 3rd and long situations, and Arizona State having some success getting pressure on Colt Brennan in the pocket and creating sacks.
Well, Pereza down on the field. He's a key part of that offensive line. Jones has sent 5 offensive linemen from Hawaii to the league. We'll have more on him on the other side.
I am extremely disappointed in your company. I cannot believe that a package that was supposed to be this morning is somewhere untrackable and faithful.
Proud sponsor of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Call your travel agent or 1-888-488-3535.
Lakers, Heat, NBA Christmas Day on ABC. The Stars come out in Miami for one of the biggest regular season games of the year, featuring 2 coaching legends and the league's 2 best guards. Kobe takes on Finals MVP Dwayne Wade in a game that's become a holiday tradition. Christmas Day, Lakers, Heat. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern on ABC.
Outside, through the block.
Proudly supporting UH Athletics. Get the good life. Great price savings this weekend.
Out of the end zone! Hawaii wins! Hawaii wins!
Sears, proudly supporting UH Athletics. Get the good life. Great price savings this weekend.
At Bank of Hawaii, we know that if we want our customers to say,
"That's my bank! That's my bank!"
there's one thing we can never let up on.
That's my bank!
That's my bank.
Our commitment to providing customers with the kind of exceptional service they can see and feel every day.
That's my bank. That's my bank.
Because at Bank of Hawaii, the only thing that makes us prouder than hearing people say,
That's my bank.
is delivering the kind of service that makes them want to say it in the first place.
That's my bank.
Uparessa having his ankle taped down there on the sidelines for Hawaii. This offensive line, very talented and a big part of their success, what they do. Third down and long coming up for Colt Brennan. This is a designated quarterback run. And it's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Ware making the stop for the Sun Devils. All kind of jacked up on the sidelines, David.
Colt Brennan, number 2 rusher on this team throughout the course of the year. He's been a real threat with his feet. And June Jones gets him some runs, some called plays out of the huddle. But Arizona State on defense has really had all the answers. And, you know, this does not bode well for Hawaii. Arizona State giving up less than 8 points a game in the second half. And this defense does not give up points in the second half of football games. And Hawaii really struggling on offense.
First punt of the day for Kurt Milne. Averaging about 38 on the season per punt. It's Williams, who's going to be brought down at the 24-yard line. Kyle Williams with a 9-yard return off the 44-yard punt by Milne. Well, earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Real brain teaser. Little international flavor, yes. The International Bowl will be played January 6th in Toronto, Canada. Cincinnati taking on Western Michigan. When was the last bowl game played off of U.S. soil? I guessed Japan.
I guessed
we're halfway there.
Remember David Klingler to get to the 54 touchdowns? And had 7 touchdowns in that game in Japan.
Cuba.
But, wow. The Rumba Bowl. Is that the Rumba in the jungle?
Was I even in the right hemisphere? First and 10. Little draw play. And that's Ryan Terrain. Let's get back to the Rumba Bowl.
Yeah, leave that to our producer, Bruce Clark, to come up with a softball for us on the Aflac question.
That's almost like cheating, man. 1937. It's close to my hometown of Miami. That's about as close as I'll get on that guess.
One thing I know is the coaches were smoking some good cigars.
Yes.
During their downtime that week.
Second down coming up. Ryan Terrain, 9 rushes for 49 yards. It's Terrain again. Nice stop that time by Adam Leonard. Bringing some bad intentions as we go downstairs to Heather Cox.
Well, Mark, Hawaii's somewhat stagnant offense now with 3 injuries. The most significant, Colt Brennan, being tended to by the medical staff. They've been checking his eyes and his neck. I think he might have gotten his bell rung during that last series. Also, offensive lineman Dane Uparessa had his right ankle retaped. He will return, but out for the game. Wide receiver Ian Sample playing in his final game for Hawaii, out with a left ankle injury, helmet off. Ankle being taped. Look for Malcolm Lane in his place, but obviously I'll keep my eye on Colt Brennan and keep you guys updated.
All right, Tyler Gronke, the backup quarterback for Hawaii. Not a good sign if your starting quarterback, never mind the most prolific quarterback in college football this year, arguably, on the bench, David.
And on that last keep by Colt Brennan on the 3rd down play, I think he took a pretty big hit over on the sidelines. You could tell from the reaction, the bench of the Sun Devils, that Colt Brennan was taken high. There it is right there.
Big hit by Deron Ware, a 6'4" senior linebacker. And so far that defense has schemed very well for that offense. Bill Miller, the defensive coordinator, partly responsible for the starting quarterback Brennan being shook up right now, trying to get the cobwebs out.
Well, that was a huge hit. And Deron Ware, really one of the featured players on this Arizona State defense, along with Josh Barrett, Zach Catanese. But
less than a minute to go here in the first half, David. Hawaii, who averages over 47 a game with just 3 points. Third down. And Terrain brought brought down short of the first down at the 31. And Hawaii going to call a timeout, going to try and do something off of this punt. Perhaps get in field goal range at the very least. Will Brennan be all right? We'll find out right after this.
For decades, there has been a gold standard in higher education. Today, it is being redefined. Learning across disciplines. Teaching at the edge of what's known. Dreaming, thinking, and acting to motivate real change. A place of learning can empower the next generation and give them a place in the sun. Arizona State University.
Learning, excellence, diversity, and opportunity. 10 campuses on islands of tropical splendor. The most unique educational experience on Earth. The University of Hawaii System.
Sposey on that. 4th down and 3 coming up. Arizona State set to punt. Don Bess standing on his own 27-yard line. A long punt driving Bess back to the 16. Bess with a little bit of room to return this one. Bess with a 14-yard punt return off of a 53-yard boot. Well, Tuesday night Capital One Bowl week kicks off on ESPN. Sun Belt champs Middle Tennessee making the team's first bowl appearance when they take on Central Michigan, led by redshirt freshman quarterback Dan LaFleur. The Motor City Bowl on ESPN Tuesday night is part of Capital One Bowl Week and is also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today. Coverage begins with the Bowl Breakdown Special at 7 Eastern. 1st down and 10. And Brennan, we're glad to report, is back in the ballgame. And still throwing very well. That's Grice-Mullens with the 1st down out to the 45.
Hawaii's going to use their last time out. And, you know, he's going to go ahead and go on the ball here. You only have time for one more play. They could have used their last time out there. Hawaii operating with fewer seconds because the clock wound after the change of possession.
Brennan downfield. Incomplete at the 8-yard line and no flag on the play as Jason Rivers and Keno Walter White were battling for position on that football.
Well, even if you hit that ball, he's not going to score with it. Time expired.
Well, Brennan may be still a little bit fuzzy after taking that big hit from Deron Ware, who was bringing a lot of funk in the trunk on that last play on the last sequence. And the most productive team offensively in college football this year. 47 points a game right now, running on neutral with just 3 points as we go downstairs to Heather.
Coach, on what must be a bit of a bittersweet day, we've certainly seen role reversal. How have you been able to contain Hawaii's prolific offense?
Well, our defensive staff, led by Bill Miller, our defense has been playing great the whole season. We're the second number 2 defense in the Pac-10. We had a bad blow. We lost Zach Cantonese, one of our star safeties, in the second series. But we're playing great team defense right now. These guys are really believing.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you. Thanks.
Dirk Cutter's team with the lead as we go into the locker room at halftime. Cutter coaching in his last game. Many more ahead for June Jones here in Hawaii as we go to Reese Davis in the studio with the Smith-Barney halftime report. Season's greetings, Reese.
This is the Smith-Barney halftime report.
And happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks for being with us on the Smith-Barney halftime report. Mark May, Lou Holtz, Doug Flutie with us in spirit always. We'll hear from those guys in just a little while. We'll talk some about Colt Brennan, tell you his story, what our guys think of his NFL future. The NFL present looked a little something like this on Sunday afternoon. The Bengals and the Broncos. Can't imagine a worse way to lose a football game. 17-14 Cincinnati. Denver takes the lead 21-17. That's not the bad way to lose it. It's 24-17. Broncos have the lead. Bengals driving. Under a minute to go. Carson Palmer, TJ Hushmanzada out of Oregon State. Touchdown, and now all you need is the extra point. Oh! Red St. Louis's snap was a little wide. Kyle Larson couldn't get it. No, Shane Graham had made 158 straight conversions. Didn't get a chance to try 159. Broncos beat the Bengals by 1. Patriots and the Jaguars. Early in the third, Pats up 10-7. Tom Brady, hook 'em. David Thomas with the catch. Brady 28-39, 249 yards. David Garrard, the former East Carolina Pirate, to the former Arkansas quarterback, long-legged Matt Jones. Jags down 24-21. Later in the fourth, Garrard being pressured. Jarvis Green, LSU, causes a fumble. Rodney Harrison with the recovery. Patriots beat the Jaguars 24-21. Peyton Manning seems as if he's always shooting for some type of record. We'll tell you what Peyton has done that no other quarterback was able to do. Also did not include win on Saturday. And a guy who hopes someday to be an NFL quarterback, you're watching in the first half. Colt Brennan of Hawaii.
He is accurate as Jeff George. He's as competitive as Warren and Jim Kelly. And he's probably more mobile than all of them.
The Jets take on the Dolphins tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN Monday Night Football.
The Hawaiian Islands are surrounded by some of the most pristine water on Earth. It can be exhilarating, inviting, challenging, soothing, and still leave you thirsty for more.
The people of Hawaii would like to share their islands with you. Dive in at GoHawaii.com.
Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler real comfortable jeans.
Here's a radically simple suggestion from eLoan. If your adjustable mortgage rate keeps rising, maybe it's time to call eLoan at 1-800-TRY-eLoan or go to eLoan.com for a fixed rate mortgage with one low monthly payment. eLoan. Radically simple.
This halftime report is brought to you by Smith Barney. Come to Smith Barney, where wealth works.
Colt Brennan still trying to come up with a way to get that 54th touchdown pass and tie the single-season record. Hawaii's down 7 at the break. Steve Cyphers on Colt's story.
In the last 5 years, over the thousands of miles he's traveled, the one constant in Colt Brennan's life has been change.
That's the one thing. There's been nothing normal or kind of generic about my journey. It's been pretty up and down and sideways.
The journey began in Southern California at Mater Dei High School, where a skinny Brennan started only his senior year. As a sophomore and junior, he backed up Matt Leinart before the All-American went to USC.
We had spent so much time together that one thing we did is we became pretty good friends, and you know, it was great to watch him.
He looked up to me as a football player, but just kind of as a person, I think, and that was something that I kind of took him under my wing, but we became boys.
After graduation, Brennan spent a year at a prep school before Colorado invited him to walk on as a freshman. But any hope of playing for the Buffs, still smarting from a recent sex scandal, vanished when he was charged with unlawful sexual conduct, criminal trespass, and burglary after an incident in a female student's dorm room.
I obviously put myself into a bad situation that night. You know, I was drinking. You know, as far as my character that night, I didn't use the best judgment.
I just told him, I'm like, man, it's going to make you stronger. Get through it. You'll be fine. People are gonna forget about it. It's in the past. You can't do anything about it. You can't change the past.
After he was told to leave the team, and during the months it took for his case to be heard, Brennan's footprints led back to California and Saddleback Junior College, where he starred for the Gauchos during the fall of 2004.
They saved me, man. That school went to bat for me, man. And because they did that, I mean, that's why I'm here, and that's why I was able to move on with my life.
In January of 2005, Brennan was exonerated of the sexual misconduct charges, but sentenced to 7 days in jail, community service, and 4 years probation for criminal trespass and burglary. Most schools that had expressed interest in him backed away. But not Hawaii, where Coach June Jones was satisfied with his personal background check of Brennan.
Everybody said, he's the greatest kid, he's a winner, and everybody had positive things to say about him.
Jones invited Brennan to walk on with the Warriors.
I remember saying to him that, let me just say this, you can go to those other schools and you might get drafted in the late rounds. If you come here, I think you'll be the first quarterback taken. And if you don't have the courage to walk on, then you're not the guy I thought you were.
He was like, hey, I'm here. If you want to come be the man, you can come be the man. If not, I'll get on my plane and go home and find someone else to be the man.
In 3 years, the 6'3", 190-pound junior has smashed records in Jones' pass-powered offense, leading Hawaii to its best season in history. And Jones ranks him among the top 3 quarterbacks he's ever coached, college or pro.
He is accurate as Jeff George. He's as competitive as Warren and Jim Kelly. And he's probably more mobile than all of them.
It has taken 5 years, but Colt Brennan has finally reached the end of his journey, stopping at a place unique to any other where footprints, even the missteps in Colorado, are beginning to wash away.
It puts a smile on my face to know what he's doing, because I've known him since he was younger, and to see him persevere through everything.
It was good for me though, because I had to man up real fast, and I had to really figure out what was important. And as much as it hurts, it was good for me.
Colt Brennan's path to stardom hasn't been the most usual one, but it might take a path to even brighter star stage next year, Doug.
I'll tell you what, people are getting a glimpse of him tonight. He's thrown for over 50 touchdown passes. Colt Brennan is for real, and he's going to have a shot next year to Heisman. He's coming back. He's going to keep slinging it under June Jones. I know Darren McFadden's coming back. He'll be the front runner, but Colt Brennan is going to throw, he's on his way. Next year, possible Heisman.
Well, there are always quarterbacks put up great statistics. You look at the ones at Texas Tech, when you look at Houston under John Jenkins, and you look at them under June Jones. But here's the difference. Colt Brennan is a legitimate pro prospect. June Jones tells everybody this guy has all the talent to be a great NFL quarterback.
It's not only June Jones, it's the coaches that are on the other sidelines like Pat Hill and Chris Peterson that have told us he can make every throw that's out there. And not only that, he can distribute the ball extremely well. 5 different receivers have at least 47 catches on this team, led by Devon Best that has 81 catches, over 87 yards a game that he averages. Not only that, he's a smart quarterback. He sees the field very well, and he knows where to go with the football. I like his decision-making on the field.
He's put up these ridiculous numbers, and he's been sitting out the fourth quarter in 6 of the games. So, it's not like they're trying to run up these stats. He's just letting it happen.
Yeah, not a product of the system at all. He's not a product of the system.
Exactly. I was going to ask Doug about that. You guys talked about how he could make the throws in any offense. How does it help him to be in this type of offense where they spread it around and throw it to a lot of different...
Well, when you're used to them leaning on you and used to the coaches saying, hey, the ball's in your hands, you go win the game, and making all the throws like Mark said, that's what it's all about in the NFL, making all the throws and being in this kind of system.
Colt Brennan probably have an opportunity to do that if he continues putting up the numbers he has so far for June Jones. Wait till Mark and the guys see what Vince Young's able to do now. Mark's going to be left speechless by Vince Young's latest performance in getting the Titans to make a run toward playoff contention.
If your wealth isn't working for you, then neither is your financial advisor. Smith Barney Financial Advisors have on average 16 years of industry experience. We don't sell our own mutual funds, so we can offer independent advice. And only Smith Barney Financial Advisors have direct access to the depth of Citigroup's global resources. Experience, independence, depth. Come to Smith Barney, where wealth works.
Plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal cloud this evening.
What a marvelously glorious looking shape. What a superbly spectacular marvel of rotating titanium.
I love this shaver. For a close, comfortable shave, get the new Remington Titanium Rotary. This holiday, give and ye shall receive. Visit our website for a limited time offer.
When you play the game like Matt Hasselbeck, hunger hits hard. Real hard. For that kind of hard-hitting hunger, Matt's mom has new Campbell's Chunky Barbecue Burger Soup with big, beefy barbecue burgers to feed an NFL-sized hunger. Even when it hits really, really hard. Campbell's Chunky and new Chunky Healthy Request. Meals that fill you up right.
I was an offensive lineman for 4 years. I no longer wear pads, but I still carry a lot of weight on my shoulders.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
How proud are you? How strong are you? How imposing can you be? The best way to prove yourself is to play in a game like this. USC, Michigan. In the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi, New Year's Day.
Back to the NFL, the Colts and the Texans. Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, game tied at 24. Manning threw for 4,000 yards for the 7th season in his career. That's an NFL record. Game tied at 24. Under a minute to go. David Carr out of Fresno State. Andre Johnson, 17-yard gain. 2 plays later, the former Husker, Chris Brown, toe meets leather, high enough, long enough. Ball game. Texans beat the Colts for the first time in 10 tries. Indy obviously still on their way to the playoffs. Peyton left shaking his head. Titans and the Bills. Who would have thought this? Vince Young. What a star Vince Young is becoming. He was 13 of 20, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was just passing. Running 61 yards on the ground on this play. For the day, Titans take a 20-17 lead. Late in the fourth quarter, Ryan Lindell warming up. Bills driving into a 20-mile-per-hour wind. They go for it on 4th and 5. J.P. Lossman now putting the loss into lost men. Played much better of late. Ronaldo Hill picking it off at the 2. Titans 30-29. Tennessee's 8-7. Vince giving him a shot at the playoffs. Michael Vick reaches a milestone running the football. You don't get points for that. We'll see if the Falcons were able to score enough points to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Do you remember when we learned that too much of anything isn't good? Yes! Well, let's apply that lesson to enjoying Guinness.
Apply previously learned lessons of moderation to drinking Guinness. Brilliant!
Please enjoy Guinness Draft responsibly.
Get clean. Axe Shower Gel.
From From little beginnings come big returns. By bringing Hawaii's union carpenters and contractors together with common goals, Pacific Resource Partnership is helping to build a quality of life in Hawaii that benefits not just you and your children, but your children's children.
When it comes to choosing a career, consider the laborers and union contractors. When you think of the laborers, think construction, healthcare, landscaping, environmental services, and much more. With the time-honored practice of apprenticeship, you'll be trained in starting a dynamic new career as a laborer. The laborers, with its great benefits of employment security and training opportunities, will provide you valued skills. You can have a secure career in the construction industry. The laborers are now recruiting and training statewide.
They are one of the surprise NFL stories of 2006. Chad Pennington and the New York Jets still in the AFC playoff chase. They visit Jason Taylor and the Miami Dolphins on Christmas night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Saints and the Giants will be Tiki's last game at the Meadowlands. Says that he intends to hang it up after this year. Drew Brees throwing to Marcus Colston, who is leaping like a flying Dutchman and hauling it in with pride. I'm not going to rest until Hofstra changes his nickname back. Reggie Bush, a little nifty red zone handoff going into the end zone. Bush rushed for 126 yards. Saints blow out the Giants 30-7. Giants, though, still in the playoff hunt because pretty much everybody is in the NFC, it seems. Panthers and Falcons. Michael Vick going to run for 18 yards here, and with that becomes the first quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards in a season. Chris Winkie, the former Seminole, to the Hokie Jeff King. Panthers 10-3. Carolina and Atlanta both 7-8, and both teams still alive. Playoff hunt. None of the 7 and 8 teams control their destiny, our NFL researchers have figured out. NFL playoff chase from Sunday. Patriots clinch the AFC East. Seahawks clinch the West with a loss by the 49ers. And the Steelers been eliminated from contention of the playoffs after losing to the Ravens. They'll have to soak up their sorrows with that Super Bowl victory from last year. But that's not the Haka dance. Arizona State leading Hawaii 10-3 at the break.
This halftime report is brought to you by Smith Barney. Come to Smith Barney, where wealth works.
He's dead. 27 years I worked with him, building up the business from nothing. He never took a sick day in his life. Then bang, a heart attack. And now I have a new partner and a 51% shareholder. His 24-year-old kid. I think I'm about to have a heart attack.
Throw out your notions of what you can talk about with a financial advisor. Come to Smith Barney, where wealth works.
Come to the Mercedes-Benz winter event now through January 2nd and see all the exciting rides we have to offer. There's sure to be something for every wish list.
The best in German engineering. A powerful motor. And a handling system for precision and control from Braun. Introducing the world's first electric shaver with the expertise of Gillette blade technology. Precisely angled edges cut hair more effectively with every stroke. For Braun's closest, most comfortable shave ever. It even cleans and renews itself. The new 360 Complete from Braun. Precision, control, perfection.
Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of Sunday Showdown, presented by Alltel Wireless. We are at Aloha Stadium, a beautiful, splendid day here for the 5th edition of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. I'm Mark Jones, along with David Norrie, Heather Cox down in the field. From all of us at ESPN to all of you at home, season's greetings. Well, in the first half, Matt Leinert's former high school teammate really struggled. Colt Brennan, the guy that led the nation in 6 different statistical categories, never really got on track, at least in terms of getting his team into the end zone.
Yeah, points are what is critical, but they had nice numbers. The drop by Ian Sample was a touchdown. Sample would have walked in, and Brennan, He's not been clean in the pocket. Arizona State has been able to get to him at times. They've had some key sacks. You saw the pick by Josh Barrett over the top and the big hit by Deron Ware. But Hawaii, they're going to just keep on doing what they've been doing for years. They're going to keep on testing you in the secondary. Brennan's got to be careful not to take sacks, but Hawaii very capable of scoring points. The problem, Arizona State giving up less than 8 points a game when you just count the second half. They've been a very tough defensive ball club in the second half over the course of the year.
Let's talk about the Sun Devil offense. You know, about the midway point of the season, Rudy Carpenter was struggling during the bye week. He went back home to the football field where he grew up in California, watched some kids play Pop Warner, kind of got his mojo back and really playing confident today.
Yeah, nice job placing the ball down the sidelines to Mike Jones. Here he drops it underneath to Brent Miller as tight end, and then this ball on the touchdown to Brandon Smith, that's a beautiful throw. And Rudy Carpenter is capable of making all the throws. You don't lead the country in passing efficiency without being able to put the ball on the money. And I think Rudy Carpenter is going to continue to try to take advantage of the aggressiveness of this Hawaii defense.
Lane and Dickerson back with the kickoff for the Warriors. And the kick about 6 yards deep, and Hawaii will start off on its own 20. We go downstairs to Heather.
Hawaii's Coach Jones said that the nation's best offense is stagnant because they're making poor decisions. He said we're moving the ball fine, but we're making bad decisions, especially in the red zone, and we're just not making the right throws. I asked him about his quarterback, Colt Brennan, and his health, and he said he'll be just fine. We'll start and play this entire second half. The other thing he had defensively, we've got to put more pressure on Arizona State to get the ball back and allow our offense to do our thing, guys.
All right, first down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Lawa in a tailback. Brennan. The pass complete to Rivers for the first down, a gain of 13, working against Walter White. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. And one big number that jumps off the screen at you when you think about it that's not there is the turnover that led to the touchdown for Arizona State. That one pick.
You look at the rushing yards as well. Arizona State continuing to have success on the ground. They ran the ball for more than 2,000 yards this season, and Hawaii is going to have to make better decisions. Brennan had pretty good numbers, but they're going to have to be more efficient getting the ball to their two great slots.
See what he does here, slings it complete. And another first down, it appears. A reception by Jason Rivers, his second consecutive. Former state sprint champ, using his speed to make a play. Manitai making the stop. And we talked about the intransigence, the stout nature of that Arizona State defense in the second half of ball games this year. Just under 8 points a game allowed. And they're going to give the first down to Hawaii.
Yeah, that is a astounding statistic when you look at the effectiveness of Bill Miller's defense. They played Cal, Oregon, and USC in consecutive games. I really thought that game against the Trojans, even though they lost in the fourth quarter, I thought that was a turning point, and they have really regrouped down the stretch and into the bowl game.
Arizona State playing inspired defense for their head coach, Dirk Cutter, who's coaching his last game at the helm, and Ilawa got a nice block up front over the left side of that offensive line, and Ilawa with almost another first down, it looks like, or close to it.
Boy, he is quick at 250 pounds, and those backs that have that type of frame.
248, man. He told us 248. Come on.
I'm not going to give him the credit for 2 pounds. But you have a back that big. Normally, he wants to get it upfield, north-south, and you watch Ilawa. He's always looking to bounce the ball outside.
Interesting matchup in that Bo Manitai is his cousin. He's the middle linebacker for Arizona State, so they should have some nice family collisions. Brennan with wide open real estate. And wisely going down shy of the 30 at the 32-yard line. Doesn't want to take another huge hit like he did from Deron Ware late in the first half. That time he picked up 14, David.
Well, and you look at the way defenses play as we take a look at some of the numbers. Astounding. Over 47 points a game. They lead the nation in that category. And then you look at the lack of production today. But I think the mix of run and pass is what is going to get Hawaii back in the football game. Teams love to play this team to pass the ball, obviously. There are going to be opportunities for Brennan to pull the ball down, and opportunity for the tailbacks to run the football.
Our best, David, has been kind of quiet so far in this ball game. They hand it off to Ilawa. One-on-one, tough to bring down. Punishing, cruising, running by Ilawa down to the 10-yard line. But there's a flag down on the play. This one might come back. The flag down at the 26-yard line. So just like in the first half, David had a nice run, wiped out by an infraction, a holding call, it looks like. It's coming back.
Yeah, this might have been the right tackle. Dane Uparesa, number 72.
Holding. Number 72. Offense. Penalized 10 yards. Repeat first down.
And that's a second big holding call on Uparesa, and both have been on big gains. Brennan's just going to release the underneath handoff. Watch the move Ilawa puts on Justin Tryon, one of the top tackling cornerbacks in the Pac-10. Just absolutely loses him. And then he punishes McFoy, the safety, to finish off the run.
Guy's got the speed of a Ferrari and the body, the chassis of a Hummer. That's the H2. Supersize. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Mauia is in for Ilawa. Little receiver screen. And the ball's loose. And pounced on by Uparesa, so he atones for the holding penalty, David, by recovering the fumble on the play. They're going to give it back to Hawaii.
One of the dangers of running the smash screen, some people call it the jailbreak screen, is there's a lot of traffic, a lot of noise inside for a wide receiver to think about after the catch.
They really run back into the teeth of the defense, don't you, a lot of times?
Warriors very lucky to get that football back.
Jones has taken this team to 5 of their total 7 bowl games in the school's history. Right now trailing by 7 points. Arizona State, conversely, looking for its 3rd consecutive bowl victory. This the last game coached by Dirk Cutter, the head coach. 2nd and 16. Has a man wide open, and I mean wide open. Touchdown. It doesn't come any easier for Rivers. And with that, Colt Brennan ties the record for touchdown passes in a season with 54. And the meter's still running with 12:29 to go in the 3rd. Rivers, meanwhile, with his 9th touchdown catch this season. Brennan with so many weapons to choose from. Bess, Rivers, Grice-Mullens, Dickerson, Sample, and the litany, the list goes on. Warriors back in it. Rivers, boy, you talk about room service. That's everything but the chocolate on your pillow. Back after this.
Sponsor of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Call your travel agent or 1-888-488-3535.
See all the wonderful toys at the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event with a special lease offer on the 7-passenger GL450, the 2007 Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year, now through January 2nd. There's never been a better time to get that Mercedes-Benz on your wish list.
We worked on Sam Adams Light for over 2 years. The whole brewing staff was dedicated.
Sam Adams Light reaches a level of flavor that light beer has never gotten to before.
Yeah, who do you love?
Capital One Bowl Week, December 26th through January 1st on ESPN.
the last 100 years, millions of NCAA student athletes have gone pro in something other than sports.
Hawaii not in the game at 10 apiece, and welcome back to ESPN's Bowl Road Trip at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Brennan was 4 for 4 on that drive for 59 yards, and Rivers has already had almost a career day, 8 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown on that last play.
And some key receptions by Rivers on that drive, and a nice job by Colt Brennan after the holding call against Uparessa.
From the goal line, it's Tryon. Justin Tryon brought down at the 17-yard line. One more look at that touchdown.
Rivers is at the top of the screen, and he's just going to run a streak route. Let's go ahead and freeze it right here. Peyton, the safety, he's going to bite. This is a bust, and Rivers is just going to run right by him. You cannot make mistakes against Colt Brennan. He finds open receivers. He's made a career out of it in this one season at Hawaii. A very capable arm. One of the most accurate passers I've ever seen at the Division I level.
The amazing story, David, the amazing fact is that a year ago this time, Rivers was enduring academic and health issues, and his quarterback, Brennan, was still a walk-on. First down and 10. Let's see what Rudy Carpenter can do to move his team's offense. That was Dimitri Nance, one of several tailbacks that has gotten the call today. Looks like there's a flag downfield, way down at the 37-yard line. Away from the play. This is a Mid-American Conference officiating crew.
Sideline warning. Hawaii. That's the first sideline warning.
And Jerry Glanville, the defensive coordinator, was halfway out on the field.
We used to be down on the sidelines. You get those sidelines warning. You could tell the officiating crew, come on now. Understandably, Hawaii gets their first touchdown, first score of the game. The defense is fired up. The crowd is fired up. That's a big part of this program and their success on the island is the momentum and the enthusiasm when they play at home here.
Their energy can be boundless at times. I spoke with a couple of Arizona State offensive players. They say, hey, when you watch the tape of Hawaii's defense, they go for a lot of kill shots. They are trying to knock you out of the game, not just tackle you. Second down and 8 coming up for the Sun Devils. Sean DeWitty in a tailback behind quarterback Rudy Carpenter. Pressure coming. And they sack him back at the 14-yard line. Purcell was the first one there, and the crowd is all pumped up.
Well, I talked to Rich Miano, the secondary coach for Hawaii. He said, we're going to change things up with our game plan. We can't allow Rudy Carpenter to sit back and count the house. We're going to have to bring pressure. We're going to have to take chances on the outside with man-to-man coverage. And with the tie score, now with Hawaii and a tie score, Hawaii is free to go ahead and bring that pressure on Carter.
3rd and 12 for Terrain. They run it on 3rd and long, and Terrain gets out to the 20-yard line as we go downstairs to Heather Cox.
You guys talk about Hawaii's defense. It's not about just knocking them down. It's about knocking them out. That's part of Jerry Glanville's former House of Pain, and they've been doing it with authority on the season. This year, 11 opposing running backs and 6 different quarterbacks have been knocked out of the game, 2 beat up to finish when they're playing against the Warriors.
Right, Heather, and yeah, that's proof of how hard they hit it. They've been told that they have the hardest hitting defense on the West Coast by several NFL people. And a poor punt coming from Jonathan Johnson. Just 29 yards. Timeout on the field. Colt Brennan just tied the single season touchdown passing record. Will he break it? He's got that look. He was hot on that last drive for 4 for 4. We'll see what he does when we come back.
It's that magical time of year. Get a special lease offer on a C230 sports sedan with a powerful 2.5-liter V6 at the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event, now through January 2nd. There's never been a better time to get that Mercedes-Benz on your wish list.
Got it. The Beats had some cataracts. The sheep don't like it. Lock the cash box. Isn't he saying stop the cat box? Stop the cat box.
You don't have to understand your music to understand how to get it all from your PC to your phone. Only Singular lets you take ripped, purchased, and even subscription music on the new Singular Sync. Only $49.99.
Stop the cat box.
Singular, raising the bar.
Beneath the placid exterior lies a cauldron of activity inside the Wendy's new jalapeno cheddar double melt. Shown here, we see its many layers, each serving an important function. Fresh ground beef patties insulate the center, keeping it warm. A slice of pepper jack melts beneath bacon, and deep at the burger's core, jalapenos explode in a river of molten cheese. Man can only stand in awe of this miraculous way to do what tastes right.
Everybody ready for this tournament?
That's not good.
I'm State Farm Agent Al Sicard, and this is a true story.
They took everything, even the kids' uniforms.
Coach had to stay with the truck.
Al took them over to the mall. He got them new uniforms.
He got them to the game just in time.
But our coach didn't make it. So I grabbed the clipboard, and I coached.
And they ended up winning the whole thing.
He got them to play zone. I can't get them to play zone.
Great service and great rates. It's all here. Nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor?
State Farm is there!
ESPN College Football, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. Singular, raising the bar. And Wendy's, get in the middle of flavor. Do Wendy's new double melt and do what tastes right.
Got it. King Kamehameha. The various statues around town and down on Kalakaua Avenue. You know, David, I wasn't aware that you're the king surfer on the island. That's the word on the street now, and the word on the field is that Colt Brennan is starting to heat it up a little bit. He was absolutely marvelous on that last drive, 4 for 4 for 59 yards. Ilawa on the handoff. Around the left side, it usually takes about 3 or 4 guys to bring him down. Picked up about 8, and let's take a look back at that last drive. Rivers, David, his favorite target.
Yeah, back shoulder throw here against man-to-man coverage, right on the money. Uses his feet to get Hawaii out of trouble. And then the bust in the secondary, Peyton, the safety, biting on the underneath the receiver. Colt Brennan finding Rivers down the sideline. You know, if Rivers didn't get that drop from Ian Sample in the first half, he'd have the record right now.
1 more to go. 2nd down and 1 coming up. Again, brought down, but got enough for the first down inside the 40. What a great collision that time between Josh Barrett and Nasty Ilawa. Nasty, I mean that affectionately. That's his nickname amongst his teammates. Because Barrett right there, number 19, the best athlete pound for pound on that Arizona State defense, David.
When you think about run and shoot, you think about pass first, but this run game puts a real bind on a defense. They run that trap play, they pull the off guard, and then you got Aloha coming downhill on you.
1st down and 10. A man that came into the program as a 185-pound freshman. Pass complete. Rivers again, flowing like water. 1st down at the 14. And there's a flag on the play as well.
So the timing is just tremendous on the delivery by Brennan.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Defense on the 19. Lane hit out of bounds. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Barrett a little overzealous on the play.
Well, the key is the timing here, though. As a quarterback, you get the ball on Rivers this quickly. He has the ability to run with the football. He makes Josh Barrett miss, and Barrett gets hit with the late hit. Actually, that was Deron Ware, the linebacker, that missed the tackle on the reception, and then Barrett comes in late. But how about the timing by Colt Brennan? The ball always comes out quickly when Brennan's behind center.
First down and goal from the 7-yard line. What a nice catch that time by Grice-Mullens. Grice-Mullens with an outstanding touchdown grab. And that is the record setter for Colt Brennan. He says, "This is my house." That was number 55. A new NCAA single season mark.
And well deserved.
They're going to review this one.
The previous play is under review.
It took a while for the official signal to come up.
Now, Brennan breaks this record, and I do believe Grice-Mullens got into the end zone here, stretches the football inside the pylon. What a great job by Grice-Mullens to make Jeremy Payton, the safety, miss.
Got that right foot in there, David, as he extended the ball.
One-handed catch. Payton comes up, whiffs on the tackle, and Barrett's over just a count too late.
Right there, the right foot inside, holding on to the top of that ball like a snow cone.
Well, even before the right foot got inside the pylon, he had that football stretched inside the pylon.
June Jones obviously tinkering with the offense at halftime, David, and making some sound adjustments. What do you see as the difference offensively between the first half and what we've seen so far in the third quarter?
Well, I think it's just been a great mix of run and pass. June Jones calling the plays. He's gotten Nate Alawa off quickly in the second half with some trap plays. And Colt Brennan getting it back to what he does best.
Following review, video confirms the call on the field. Touchdown.
Well, Brennan's had some time to operate in the pocket, and he's throwing the ball with accuracy. That's what he's known for.
14 of 19 in the first half, hasn't missed here in the second half. And the big number that counts are those 2 touchdown passes that he's thrown. 2 of his last 3 passes have gone for scores. Kelly's extra point is good, and the Warriors lead by a touchdown, 17-10. Ryan Grice-Mullens. You know what, folks? That must be jelly, because Jam can't shake like that. What a move. Back with the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. That was the record breaker. Back with more after this.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
It looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
That is one great look.
Whoa, hold on, honey. Showing Tom the floor.
Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield, America's best-selling premium garage floor coating. Just prep and go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. For a high-gloss showroom finish, top coat with Epoxy Shield premium clear coating.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Live healthy. The choice is yours.
A power tool slips from a construction worker's hands. A delivery van crashes into a telephone pole. A pot of scalding water spills on a restaurant floor, and someone gets injured on the job. You can make excuses that accidents happen, but drugs and alcohol in the workplace are real problems that that hurt real people. And fixing it is everyone's job. For tips on how to keep your workplace drug and alcohol free, visit hawaii.gov/labor.
Sponsored by the Hawaii Department of Labor and Industrial Relations.
Sunday's Best, presented by Alltel Wireless, takes us back to the former Longhorn, Vince Young. Tennessee's now won 6 straight games. Young threw for 183 yards, rushed for 61 in this great touchdown run here as the Titans remained in the playoff final.
All right, Reese, and speaking of quarterbacking heroics, Colt Brennan with the record breaker a few moments ago, now with 55 touchdown passes on the season, eclipsing the old mark set by David Klingler of Houston. Let's see if the Sun Devils can answer. Williams, 6 yards deep, and he's going to take a knee. Mark Jones, along with the best surfer on the island, who's a quarterback analyst.
Longboarder, there's a difference.
Heather Cox down in the field, and Colt Brennan's team right now has really stolen the momentum away. And Rudy Carpenter at the helm right now on offense for Arizona State. Sean Dewey in a tailback on 1st down and 10. Where has Zach Miller been? That's the question that begs for the Sun Devils. He's their All-American. He's their leading receiver on offense. But he has yet to catch a pass. And the offense looking a little disconcerted as Dewey makes the catch. Brought down just short of the 30 at the 20, we'll call it the 28-yard line. Mark Jones, David Norrie, Heather Cox down to the field. What does Arizona State have to do to snatch the momentum back?
Well, I think you have to use this aggressiveness of the Hawaii defense against them. I think you got to go play action while this defense is fired up, take a few shots down the field. They've got to use Zach Miller some, as you were talking about, Mark. Zach Miller has been taken out of the game. Linebackers have been coming up and taking shots at him and not allowing him to release off the line of scrimmage.
This is Dimitri Nance on the short yardage situation, and he moves the pile forward. They're going to mark it across the 30-yard line for the 1st down. How do you suppose, given what you mentioned, the linebackers putting hits on Zach Miller, who's probably the biggest part of the offense, how do they free him up and counter that?
Well, it's tough. It's called smoking him, and that's the linebacker coming up on the line of scrimmage within the first 5 yards and taking shots at the tight end. So I think what you have to do is you have to split him out or get him in motion, give him a free release, because he is definitely one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends in the country and the primary threat in this pass game.
They're going to run it. They stay on the ground, and Terrain moving that pile forward shy of the 40 at the 39-yard line. Patek finally making the stop on Ryan Terrain, who was all Pac-10 second team this year, averaging a little over 6 yards per carry on the season, got 8 in that chunk, sets up a 2nd and 2.
Well, this is a critical drive for Arizona State. Had the lead at halftime. The Warriors are up by a touchdown, 2 nice touchdown drives back-to-back put together by Colt Brennan. Arizona State has to move the chains and answer on this drive, get this crowd out of the football game.
Zach Miller in motion. Terrain again, and brought down short of the 1st down. Gang tackled. Purcell leading the way. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up for Arizona State. It's interesting, David, to see that time they put Zach Miller in motion on the running play.
Zach Miller, you look across the country, you have Matt Spaeth at Minnesota, you got Olsen down at Miami, pretty darn good tight end out at Rutgers as well, but Zach Miller will be a bona fide 1st-round pick, and I know Rudy Carpenter, it's only a matter of time before he tests him down the field to his tight end.
Whitty in a tailback, and there's the first catch of the day for Miller on cue, and enough for the 1st down at the 43-yard line. Malala making the stop on the play.
Zach Miller broke all of Todd Heap's records. The lone record that Heap has retained at Arizona State, the receiving yards record at the tight end position. Zach Miller doesn't run quite as well as Todd Heap, the Baltimore Raven, but just a devastating blocker up front and really a super receiver, soft hands.
His dad, Tom, of a lot of the Arizona State practices, and a very close-knit family. Keegan Herring. I'll to the 43-yard line. Purcell making the stop. Talked about Zach Miller, his brother Brent Miller, also a starter on this Arizona State offense. His dad had practiced a lot, and Miller had to deal with a lot of distractions during the course of the regular season. A lot of inquiries about his future as to whether he'll move into the NFL next year.
I think Colt Brennan's going to stick around for his senior year. I think Zach Miller is headed to the pros.
2nd and 10. He'll catch some passes on Sundays, whether it's this year or next year. That pass intended for Miller off of his fingertips and closely covered by Malala.
As a quarterback, when you start to feel heat, sometimes that throws your clock off. I thought Rudy Carpenter let that ball go just to count early. Dirk Cutter calling the plays on the sidelines. One of the unusual circumstances you'll see in college football, 2 head coaches calling the plays across the field from one another. June Jones for Hawaii and Dirk Cutter for Arizona State.
3rd down and 10. Sean DeWitty in a tailback. Little pressure coming again. Carpenter got it off, and it's incomplete at the 40-yard line. A couple of receivers were in the neighborhood. Jones had the best chance at it, but it's incomplete nonetheless. And Heather has more from the sidelines.
Well, the fans are being very vocal down here for Hawaii, yelling to Colt Brennan, "One more, Colt." He turned, put up 3 fingers, and yelled back, "How about 3 more?" We'll see if his predictions can come true. Something to keep our eye on, though. That right hand did get beat up in the end of the first half. There are 2 cuts on the top of it. He continues to massage it, shake it, try to keep the bleeding at a minimum. We'll see if that affects his play at all here, guys.
All right, great report, Heather. Yeah, why not be a little greedy? 3's good. Best back for the punt. And Devon Best will watch it bounce dangerously close to one of his teammates blocking for him. And this one will end up more than 99 yards away from the Arizona State end zone on the 56-yard punt. Colt Brennan says he wants 3. We'll see if he can get 1 when we come back on the other side.
You guys run the double team a lot, right?
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. Book your trip online today.
The island of Oahu, the heart of Hawaii. For a free Island of Oahu travel planner, call 1-877-525-OAHU.
Plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high.
What a marvelously glorious looking shape. What a superbly spectacular marvel of rotating titanium.
I love this shaver. For a close, comfortable shave, get the new Remington Titanium Rotary. This holiday, give and ye shall receive. Visit our website for a limited time offer.
Strapped to a 2,000-pound burro, you not only gotta be tough, you gotta be quick on your feet. That's what's so cool about my new Yamaha Grizzly 700. It's not only tough, it's the only ATV with electric power steering and fuel injection. The new Grizzly 700 FI ain't nothing tougher.
Now get a free 2-year warranty plus a $400 Warren winch for just $69.95.
Here at Aloha Stadium, I want to send out season's greetings to my family watching down in Miami and up in Toronto and back at the hotel. All of us at ESPN, to all of you at home, Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year. First down and 10. Hawaii more than 99 yards away from the end zone. Brennan. Best comes up with it, then drops it at the 34. Walter White got a hand in there and seemed to break it up at the last minute. There are a couple of receivers in the same vicinity. Second and 10 coming up, and the updated numbers on Colt Brennan. I'm not going to try and explain that pass efficiency formula. I was good at calculus, David, but it takes more than that.
Well, what's so impressive about Colt Brennan's years, you can compile completions and attempts and touchdown passes. To me, what's made it the best statistical year in the history of quarterback in the Division I level, passing efficiency and completion percentage. Just tremendous job by Colt Brennan.
And another first down. Rivers still on his feet. Rivers, one guy to beat, and Barrett finally got him in midfield. Josh Barrett made a touchdown-saving tackle on Jason Rivers, who was efforting another touchdown. Make them 47.
I think Colt Brennan has found something on the weak side with Rivers. Working against Keno Walter White. They found a mismatch. Walter White has not had a good afternoon tackling, and he has been exploited by the split end. Another great ball by Colt Brennan. It comes out quick. Got excellent ballistics on the football, a very tight spiral, and he's jacked up.
Lauer in the ball game at tailback. This Hawaii offense starting to look more like the offense that amassed 47.3 points a game during the regular season. Lauer stopped up at the line of scrimmage at the 48-yard line. It'll be second down and 10.
But getting back to those stats, I mean, a quarterback, you look at quarterbacks across the country, if you're throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game, of course you're going to lead your league and you're going to lead the country in attempts and completions. But when you've got the completion percentage and the pass efficiency as high as Colt Brennan, that to me signals that this was the best year quarterbacks ever had at this level. He has it across the board in terms of the statistics. Just an incredible year.
After this play, I'm going to ask you the $6 million question. Player or system? That seems to be the perpetual debate when a quarterback picks up gaudy numbers in a run and shoot. Brennan complete underneath to Bess, who's still on his feet. Giving you a little bit of yak. Yards after the carry and catch. And another first down near the 40-yard line. Bess has been relatively quiet today, but let me get back to that Brennan question.
Well, let's talk about the system and let's talk about Devon Bess. Devon Bess is really the featured slot receiver and the featured overall skill player for Hawaii. But you talk about those numbers, and to answer your question, Mark Jones, I think the system is a big part of it. You can't take anything away from June Jones or Mouse Davis. Timmy Chang, Colt Brennan's predecessor, threw for more than 17,000 yards in this offense. But Colt Brennan, I think he's the best they've ever had here, and he is going to be a next-level guy.
Laua down to the 36-yard line. Nate Laua. And tomorrow night, Jason Taylor leads a tough Miami Dolphin defense against Chad Pennington and the New York Jets. Jason Taylor having a nice year for Miami. Is it Monday yet? Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. As we take a look at the current AFC East standings, the Dolphins are not a player in the playoff picture, but the Jets still alive at 8-6. And Cleveland defeated Jacksonville today. Brennan back to pass with plenty of time. Complete. Touchdown. Grice-Mullens with a catch. He told the fans, Brennan did, how about 3 more? Well, there's 1 more. And Grice-Mullens popping his collar a little bit. Why not? That was an outstanding catch.
Let's go!
And we do have a flag down the field now, back at the 32-yard line.
Well, a touchdown is going to hold up. This penalty came after the play. I think Tala Serra, the left tackle for Hawaii, might have taken his helmet off after the play and picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That'll be assessed on the kickoff. But what a ball from Colt Brennan.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 70, removing his helmet on the field. The penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
With 2:14 to go in the third quarter. This is an offense that has been resurrected here in the second half. They had just 3 points on the board in the first half. Grice-Mullens with his 11th touchdown catch of the season. And the extra point good. Hawaii surging ahead by 14 points. And Brennan continues to mount even more impressive numbers.
And with this type of game, as we move into the fourth quarter, Sean King's pass efficiency record could be at risk. Grice-Mullens going to run a seam. And Colt Brennan flashes some arm strength. Watch him fit this ball in down the field. And that ball arrived right out of the cut. I mean, Grice-Mullens couldn't ask for a better ball.
This Hawaii team is an extremely emotional team, and as you watch them at midfield now, jumping up and down at the 50-yard line, they have really gotten emotional.
What a way to finish off a 99.5-yard drive.
Colt Brennan talking a little bit of smack to Arizona State.
Well, when you come and play on the island against Hawaii and they get a lead and they get some momentum, fans behind them, that's been a characteristic. They're not afraid to pick up a 15-yarder here or there. Incredibly aggressive approach, and they're not afraid to talk a little bit when they get the lead. Arizona State is going to have to answer, or Colt Brennan is going to keep this show rolling.
You almost hear Colt Brennan from up here saying, hey, nobody comes into the crib and parties right here on us. Came into the game with 53 touchdown passes. 3 quick ones here in the third quarter. And in a blink, he's up to 56.
Those 2 slot receivers for the Warriors, Grice-Mullens, Devon Bess, they just burst on the scene a year ago. Both went over 1,000 yards for June Jones in this offense. And if Colt Brennan returns, I think he will. This offense, and it's a scary thought, this offense is going to be even better next year.
I wonder if Heather downstairs overheard them saying one more. I wonder if the fans really meant one more year. On the return, it's Tryon. Flag down on the play. And Tryon pushed out of bounds short of the 45 at the 43, but the flag is way back at the 33-yard line.
I think we had 2 flags. You got an offside penalty most likely on Hawaii on the kickoff, and then a blocking infraction against Arizona State.
Colt Brennan has thrown for 185 yards in this quarter alone with 2:04 to go. And 3 touchdowns. A huge second half so far with the meter still running.
An offside against the Warriors. And a block in the back against Arizona State on the return. I think they're going to go ahead and re-kick this. Arizona State has the option.
You know, the type of offense that Arizona State has been playing in this game, a little bit more methodical, using the ground attack. Here's the call.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside, number 9 on the kickoff team. Illegal block in the back, number 2 of the return team. Those penalties offset. We will re-kick.
I was starting to say before the call, David, that Arizona State, not what you would consider a quote-unquote big play offense. They're not the type of team that can catch up to you in big chunks. Not the way that they've been playing so far anyway.
They were a year ago.
Attack, yeah.
They were a year ago with Sam Keller playing through those first 8 games. Tremendous statistics. And then, of course, he went down with a broken thumb. Rudy Carpenter came in. Dirk Cutter's offense a year ago, nothing short of scintillating, especially in the pass game. 519 yards per game, but the loss of skill athletes on the outside. The graduation and injuries has really turned this club into a running team in the 2006 season, and it really, I think, cost Dirk Cutter his job.
He was 21 and 28 overall in the Pac-10 in conference play, 2 and 19 against top 10 teams. But David, the one that really jumps out at you and is disappointing if you're an Arizona State fan, they were 0 and 12 in the state of California.
Yeah, 40% of the Pac-10 conference resides in California. You can't post that record over 6 years without at least taking a little heat for it.
And he has had numerous inquiries for employment since being fired. Here's Tryon again with a nice kickoff return. Tryon still on his feet, needs one block. And Tryon with a great return down to the 30-yard line. As we check in with Reese Davis, his 30-30 update.
All right, Mark, you never know how a game's going to wind up. Bengals and Broncos, all Cincinnati needed to do is convert the extra point, send the game into overtime. They botched it. End of a bad day for the Bengals. 4 turnovers, 8 penalties, lost to the Broncos by 1. Michael Vick against the Panthers went over 1,000 yards for the season. First quarterback to do that. Falcons still lost 10-3. Much more on SportsCenter after the game.
Falcons only scored 3 points in that game.
1st and 10. Sean DeWitty in a tailback for Arizona State. Carpenter for Jones, and he overshot his receiver. Jones made a nice last gasp and lunge for it. He was working against Lewis. And it's incomplete, 2nd and 10.
He had Jones there, and that was not an easy throw. But that's a throw that Carpenter makes more times than not. Comes all the way back across the field as a second choice on the post corner route. And if he takes a little off that football, that's a touchdown.
2nd and 10 coming up. Gay spin wide to the bottom of the screen. Jones inside of him. Brent Miller in motion. Carpenter looking for the out and up. Big collision, touchdown. Zach Miller, but there's a flag down on the play. There was a huge collision in the end zone. Zach Miller hung on, but let's wait and see what the outcome of this flag is.
Is it offside or is it a line of scrimmage infraction? That's an illegal shift on the Sun Devils. And Dirk Cutter wants to know why.
A calamitous error by Arizona State. You see a look of disdain on the face of Dirk Cutter.
Well, if you're in motion, see if they had 2 players in motion. Boy, that is pretty ticky-tack right there. And I think what they got, they got Mike Jones in the slot for leaving a count early while the tight end was in motion. And that wipes out a tremendous play between quarterback and tight end. Tremendous ball from Carpenter and a super catch by the All-American.
Hawaii defense has pitched a shutout here in the second half so far with 1:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. And a little bit of motion on that right side of the offensive line for Arizona State.
And big Paul Faneca, the right guard, moving a count early.
Full start. 63 offense. Penalized 5 yards. 2nd down.
Well, Tuesday night Capital One Bowl week kicks off on ESPN. Sunbelt champs Middle Tennessee making the team's first bowl appearance when they take on a Central Michigan Chippewa team that is pretty feisty. The Motor City Bowl on ESPN Tuesday night. Part of Capital One Bowl week, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or your satellite provider today. 2nd down and 20 to go.
Screen pass wouldn't be a bad call here.
Zach Miller in motion. And they blew Carpenter up. Fumble. Leonard Peters made the hit, and it's Hawaii football. Alama Francis came out of the pack with the football, but here's the beginning of it.
Well, and this is going to be Peters, one of the biggest hitters in college football. Free safety blitz. Jerry Glanville dialed it up, and boom. Laid his helmet right on the numbers of Rudy Carpenter. Carpenter never saw it coming.
Peters, number 42, a huge hitter for Jerry Glanville's defense, causing the second turnover of the ball game. And that one more knock on the quarterback. They're up to 9 now in the game. The magic number for Jerry Glanville is number 20. They want to get 20 hits on the quarterback, and then he predicts things start to happen. As for Leonard Peters, boy, what a physical specimen he is, and what an interesting background he has. Number 42 right there. He's endured a lot of injuries. Had a rib cartilage injury, broken cartilage actually, after the first game of the season against Alabama. Came back, and off the field, an interesting story too. He joined a professional dance company. We're reviewing this play. You know a lot of the wonderful Polynesian dances. He does that fire dance with the knives. Any guy that can handle that can handle a quarterback like Carpenter.
Well, and Rudy Carpenter was unable to handle that blitz. His arm was not moving forward on the play. This fumble is going to hold up. You can't blame Rudy Carpenter. The offensive line, the center and the guard have to take care of that gap between center and guard, and they failed to do that. And you don't want to turn Peters loose.
6-year senior with the long flowing mane out of the back of his helmet. You really like him as a combine guy, don't
you? He was injured in the opener a year ago, 2005 season against USC, missed the entire year. He was a 5th-year senior at that time. He was granted a 6th-year, and then this year he played injured throughout the season. Ribs, a knee. He is going to be a combine standout. 4.3 speed, great size.
You know what he says, that you actually burn your hands a little bit on each time that you do that fire dance with the knives.
Yeah, you should stay away from that.
Review. The play stands as called on the field. Wide on the 48-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1:16.
Jerry Glanville is having a heck of a ball game from his defensive coordinator position. He is dialing up blitzes. He's creating pressure, taking chances with man-to-man coverage. Arizona State has been unable to solve it. Rudy Carpenter's going to have to continue to test the secondary downfield for the Warriors and make some plays.
Josh Barrett got sick a few moments ago on the sidelines. Ryan McFoy in for him. Here's the pass to Ryan Grice-Mullens. And Grice-Mullens with a first down. Some changes in that secondary. Grice-Mullens apparently wanted a little bit more. There's a look at Ryan McFoy. His brother plays for UCLA. But McFoy now in for Barrett. Barrett, David, a huge part of what they do defensively at Arizona State. This penalty against Hawaii.
Barrett is a big part of this defense. He's the most talented member of Arizona State's defense. And the Sun Devils lost Zach Catanese, his safety mate, in the second series of this ball game. Arguably the two most talented players for Arizona State defensively. Deron Ware, pretty talented in his own right at linebacker, but the Sun Devils starting to get thin in the secondary.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 7 of the offense. Penalized 15 yards. It'll be 1st and 10.
That's Devon Bess. Sometimes in the course of youthful exuberance, there is a little over-exuberance. Frankly, I think it's tough to suppress that kind of emotion.
Well, that is
I got no problem with guys bumping their gums once in a while.
There's plenty of gum bumping over here in the islands historically with Hawaii. When they get up and they get it rolling, there's plenty of talking that goes on, and teams know it when they come in. I'm sure Dirk Cutter warned his team, beware of the talking. There's going to be a couple hits that are going to come pretty close to the whistle, maybe a bit after the whistle. And Hawaii's going to try to take shots on defense and try to knock players out of the game. This is a pro-style attack by Hawaii that Jerry Glanville employs, and sometimes you get tested with a flag or two.
Officials still discussing this down to the field, and 57 seconds to go in the third quarter. I'm Mark Jones along with David Norrie and Heather Cox. A complete turnaround here in the second half with Hawaii storming back from a 10-3 deficit with 3 touchdown passes from Colt Brennan to take a 24-10 lead. And Dirk Cutter on the sidelines there, the head coach of Arizona State, coaching his last game, as Dennis Erickson will take over after this one as the new head coach of the Sun Devils. He's already hired himself, among other coaches, an offensive coordinator, Rich Olson from the University of Miami. They move the ball back to the 50-yard line, and it's first down and 10 from there. In at running back beside Brennan to the right of him. Awa gets the carry. Down to the 48 as we go to Heather.
Well, Josh Barrett, Arizona State safety, who gave the Hawaii offense fits during the first half, got sick on the field, came off the field, got sick on the sideline, and is now being treated by the medical staff. They've given him anti-nausea medicine. Now he's actually up. He was sitting for a while. Now they're giving him Gatorade as well, trying to replenish those fluids. It's still to be determined whether or not he's going to return to the field.
He's a big part of what they do. 6'2", 227 pounds, a junior, and a very good athletic stock. His father's a wonderful guy. I had a chance to meet him, and pretty much a stud too. He put together pretty well too. One of those bodies by Jake, but right now it's about Colt, the junior quarterback for Hawaii, a team that is putting up some big numbers here in the second half. 47 a game during the season. Trying to close in on that when we come back for the fourth and final period. It's the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl on ESPN.
NBA Christmas Day. Lakers, Heat, 2 Eastern on ABC.
Go somewhere different. Somewhere exotic. Somewhere exciting. Somewhere you've always dreamed about. Tahiti. Starwood Hotel's Royal Romance package to Tahiti includes sunset massages, private Motu picnic, dinner, tours, and more. Call 1-866-716-8170 or visit us online now at starwoodtahiti.com.
Finally, a vacation in the Alps.
Dad, we're not really in the Alps.
Well, my credit card miles expired, but a virtual trip is still fun, huh? Where's Mom?
Oh, Armando, teach me to dance. Oh.
Hey, that is my wife!
You should switch to Capital One. Get Capital One's no-hassle rewards with no miles expiration, no earn caps, and no blackout dates.
I'm rafting the Amazon!
What's in your wallet?
Bring a taste of Old Hawaii to your next gathering with island-wide catering from Highway Inn. Choose from over 73 items, including all of your Hawaiian, Filipino, and local-style favorites.
We had 9 choices, and the price was reasonable.
There on time, set it up, took care of our guests, cleaned up. Perfect.
It was really good, the best Hawaiian food I've ever had. I'm in!
Since 1947, Highway Inn, where locals go for a taste of Old Hawaii.
When it comes to choosing a career, consider the laborers and union contractors. When you think of the laborers, think construction, healthcare, landscaping, environmental services, and much more. With a time-honored practice of apprenticeship, you'll be trained in starting a dynamic new career as a laborer. The Laborers, with its great benefits of employment security and training opportunities, will provide you valued skills. You can have a secure career in the construction industry. The Laborers are now recruiting and training statewide.
Tranquil night sky here, well, almost night, about dusk here. Aloha Stadium, the home crew leading 24-10, storming back with 21 points in the third period, awakening the crowd here at Aloha Stadium. I'm Mark Jones along with David Norrie and Heather Cox. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Warriors. Colt Brennan has become the all-time single-season touchdown passer in NCAA history in this period. One incomplete. Threw for 200, actually had 245 total yards, 10 of 11 passing for almost 200 yards, and all importantly, 3 touchdowns, David.
Well, most importantly for the Sun Devils, they're going to have to come up with a stop. This is the biggest play of the game for Arizona State on defense, and Michael Marquardt, Jordan Hill inside had some success at the tackle positions for Arizona State in the first half, working with Caldwell and Davis at the defensive end positions, but they've got to start getting to Colt Brennan to get him back off time in the pocket.
Brennan got away in a hurry as the blitz was coming. Rivers made the catch at the 40-yard line. That is right at the first down marker. We'll see what kind of spot he gets and whether it is indeed a first down. It looks like they're going to give it to him right at the 40-yard line.
Now, this is the problem that you face on defense. Even when you get to the quarterback, Colt Brennan has such a quick release that he's able to get the ball out. And watch the blitz by Gaethel off the left side. I mean, he was on to Colt Brennan quickly, but the ball came out. Boom. And that's one of the intangibles that June Jones talks about Colt Brennan. His toughness, his quick release, sitting in under pressure.
It's not often, David, that you can have a quarterback come in on the heels of Timmy Chang and almost reduce Timmy Chang to an afterthought of sorts. I mean, he has really eclipsed a lot of the things that Timmy Chang has done, and Chang was no slouch. First down and 10.
Yeah, and you know, Timmy Chang was a heck of a player, but I think Colt Brennan, watch Gaethel come off the edge here. I just think Colt Brennan is hands down the most talented quarterback that they've had at Hawaii. That was an impressive play by Colt Brennan. He knew he was going to take the hit, and he delivered the ball right on the money.
A little over a year ago this time, a walk-on at quarterback. Complete. Another first down. This was Chad Mock, the senior, with his first catch of the game.
And you go back, you look at Nick Rolovich. He played with Ashley Lally here, the great wide receiver that moved onto the NFL. Timmy Chang passes for over 17,000 yards. He had Chad Owens, the great slot receiver. But Colt Brennan has a very deep group of receivers. Bess and Grice-Mullens, of course, are the featured guys in the slot, but there are a lot of other guys that June Jones can dial up in his play calling from the sideline.
Mock picked up 15 on that catch. First down from the 25-yard line. Ilawa. Nice straight arm, a stiff arm on Deron Ware, who made the tackle for Arizona State. You talk about Colt Brennan. Threw 53 touchdown passes during the regular season, led the country in 6 different categories, was not invited to New York's Downtown Athletic Club. I asked him about it, David. He said, had they won that game against Oregon State, I might have been a little bit more vociferous in my complaints about not being invited, but they lost the game, so he didn't have a problem with it.
Well, and he had an opportunity to win that game down the stretch, and he bounced the ball on 4th down to an open Rivers on the outside, and you know, I thought it showed maturity. Colt Brennan said, I didn't deserve to go back there after not winning that game.
Looking for Bess. And Bess was open temporarily, but a little bit off the mark. You saw the graphic a few moments ago. Sorry, David. Troy Smith and Brady Quinn, 2 guys that obviously were there at the Downtown Athletic Club. And Brennan was not. 3rd and 11.
I think that plays into Colt Brennan's decision on whether he comes back. You're going to have Brady Quinn come out. Troy Smith obviously going to come out. You have Brian Braun from Louisville. You look at their numbers there. I think Colt Brennan is best served. He's going to have a significant jump in the draft if he waits another year, continues to develop. He's going to be working with June Jones and Mouse Davis. The wide receiver corps is going to be tremendous. 1 year older, more experienced.
3rd down and 11. They set up the screen, Ilawa, and it's incomplete at the 24-yard line. And they just missed on that one. Matatai And Dexter Davis with the pressure that time for the Sun Devils. 4th down coming up. In comes the field goal unit led by Dan Kelly.
That was a nice play by Deron Ware, number 18, to read that screen pass and get a hand over the top. Now, this is such a tough defense, or tough offense, to play because of their ability to throw the ball downfield and then spring that shovel pass and little runs underneath to allow it.
This field goal attempt from 43 yards out. He's 1 of 2 so far today. And this one is true by Dan Kelly, increasing the Warriors' lead to 17 points with 13:04 to go. A record-setting day for their offense and their quarterback, Colt Brennan. Back after this.
From Diamond Head down to Waikiki, you can hear Santa say, ho, ho, Honolulu, it's a Honolulu holiday.
Unmatched technology and innovation years ahead of its time, we've pushed the boundaries of high definition and tested the limits of reality. The new Pure Vision 1080p Elite Plasma Display, only from Pioneer.
Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler real comfortable jeans.
If you want to quit smoking, today's your day. Introducing new Commit Cherry Lozenges. Quitting smoking just got a little tastier.
Sam Adams Boston Lager is not a beginner's beer.
Boston Lager tastes rich, complex, but it's not watered down.
We use a pound of hops per barrel for Boston Lager.
I can't even drink domestic beers anymore.
Sam Adams is a domestic beer.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Hey, man, how'd you do today?
All right, but I totally ate it on my last run. Do I have a big bump?
No.
Cool.
New Totino's Mega Pizza Rolls. They'll change your definition of big. Go big with Winter X Games and Totino's Mega Rolls. Log on to getmegaxgames.com or text. You could win the grand prize 2007 Jeep Patriot packed with winter gear or one of thousands of cool instant win prizes, including free Totino's Mega Rolls. Enter now and get mega.
Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler real comfortable jeans.
You guys run the double team a lot, right?
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. Book your trip online today.
How proud are you? How strong are you? How imposing can you be? The best way to prove yourself is to play in a game like this. USC, Michigan. In the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi, New Year's Day.
Should be one of the more compelling bowl games this season if you look at the history, especially in the last 2 years. No Texas, of course, this year, but USC, a team that was right up in the mix until the final week of that upset against UCLA.
Both of those teams right up to the final week of play figured to have shots to play the national title, and I know Lloyd Carr and his team feel very strongly they still deserve to be in that
game. Fair catch called at the 15-yard line. Just under 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mark Jones along with David Norrie and Heather Cox down in the field. Dirk Cutter is coaching his last game for Arizona State. Dennis Erickson will take over as the head coach of the football program immediately following this game. Dirk Cutter, there have been some whispers about him being connected with various NFL jobs. Marvin Lewis is a very desirous guy of his work. Holmgren in Seattle, an associate of his, and that Miami offensive coordinator job still open too.
There's no doubt with Coach Cutter comes out of that pipeline of Oregon, the offensive coordinators for Mike Bellotti, guys like Bob Toledo, Jeff Tedford.
And Terrain doing him proud on this carry. Terrain still on his feet. Spun like a record on a turntable. And Terrain finally pulls up at the 20-yard line. Dragged down by Leonard Peters. But a huge chunk of yardage on one play by Ryan Terrain, who almost seemed to run out of steam there at the end.
Now, just a tremendous job by Terrain. He's going to run off tackle, left side action, reads the seam well, and then the cutback set up this run. Broken tackle, and then how about that play?
Tremendous balance.
And he just didn't have the angle. He wasn't run down in terms of his speed. He just didn't have the angle. That was taken away by the broken tackle. What an effort.
And Hawaii going to call a timeout. Arizona State showing a lot of vigor here in the fourth quarter. That's the second longest run in bowl history. That 60-plus yard run by Terrain. Now, what does that do for them? What do you think of their strategy? Obviously, they like to keep the ball on the ground this late.
Well, I don't think you abandon your game plan. Hawaii scored 24 unanswered, but a big part of your game plan is going to be continuing to use a run from time to time and then play action. Play action is what is going to get Arizona State back in this football game. Rudy Carpenter is going to have to get hot.
Defensively, I don't think we've said enough about what Hawaii has done. All the talk was about how impressive the Sun Devil defense was, David, in the second half of most ball games this year. But the Rainbow Warrior defense has been very stout here in the second half.
Well, if there's one thing we found about Hawaii, it's only a matter of time with this offense. Colt Brennan and June Jones, his quarterback, Mouse Davis, they're all very confident that even if you stop them for a quarter or two, they're going to have success eventually. They always have the ability to make what you're doing on defense be wrong because they have the answers. They've been running this offense for over 3 decades.
Ryan Terrain, the lone back. They run a little screen past him, actually out of the backfield. And Terrain tripped up nicely at the 16-yard line as we go down to Heather.
Well, guys, I was able to catch up with Coach Dennis Erickson during the week. He was in Tempe, very busy recruiting, getting his coaching staff together, but he said he will watch this game from home simply as a fan for entertainment, won't critique. Now, what I found interesting, while he's been in Tempe since he was hired, he's been working in the same football offices as Coach Cutter. They have not spoken. He said it's out of respect for Coach Cutter. He wants him to be here with his team. It's his team until after the bowl game. Then he hopes the two can talk, and they'll do the passing of the torch, if you will.
Both of them very respectful of what coaches go through. It's a very closely knit fraternity. 2nd and 3. Terrain, nice cutback, and they're still around. The Sun Devils storming back. The lead has been whittled down to 9 with the extra point to follow. Ryan Terrain with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And you can almost feel the uneasiness here in Aloha Stadium amongst the Hawaii fans. 12-yard touchdown run by Ryan Terrain. Appropriate that he would punctuate that drive after he ran that long one for over 60 yards. Had that 64-yard chunk to set it up. Lead is down to 10 points. It's 27-17. They call him Train. He was on the right track that time. We'll be back after this.
I am extremely disappointed in your company. I cannot believe that a package that was supposed to be this morning is somewhere untrackable and traceable. God help me,
Proud sponsor of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Call your travel agent or 1-888-488-3535.
Here's a radically simple suggestion from eLoan. You can lower your rising monthly payments by consolidating your debt with a home equity loan and paying one lower monthly rate. Just call 1-800-TRY-eLoan or go to eLoan.com. eLoan. Radically simple.
Guess what, Chad? We hooked it up so our customers can talk to 5 friends on any network for free.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the only thing better would be 10 friends on any network for free.
Dude, that's double. That's like twice as much.
That's like 2 of your plans.
Okay, I get it.
And with my circle, you get to keep your mobile-to-mobile minutes.
You take those away? Shh,
You're embarrassing us in front of Chad. We are so having a meeting when we get back to the food court.
Get people talking this holiday with gift cards and new phones from Altel Wireless.
The best in German engineering. Braun 360 Complete, the world's first electric shaver with the expertise of Gillette blade technology. For Braun's closest, most comfortable shave ever, it even cleans and renews itself. Braun. Precision, control, perfection.
Long John Silver's has some exciting news you're going to love. It's a fast food first.
Buttered lobster bites are back. Rich, real Langostino lobster in a buttery breading. Incredibly, just $2.99. Only at Long John Silver's.
Here's a radically simple suggestion from eLoan. If your adjustable mortgage rate keeps rising, maybe it's time to call eLoan at 1-800-TRY-eLoan or go to eLoan.com for a fixed-rate mortgage with one low monthly payment. eLoan. Radically simple.
ESPN College Football, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, is presented by Altel Wireless. Come and get your love. Altel. Want to choose who you call for free? Get My Circles. And in part by Sheraton Hotels, because you don't just stay here, you belong. And the Braun 360 Complete.
A wonderful sunset here in Honolulu, Hawaii. Coming up on SportsCenter after the game, a new NFL playoff picture emerging. Stopping Troy Smith. How do you do that? And one-on-one with Kobe Bryant, John Anderson, and Steve Levy on the desk on the JOB. And right now, this game just got a little bit more interesting with Arizona State's drive a few moments ago. Ryan Terrain, a big part of that on two very strong runs. This is Dickerson. There's a flag down at the 12-yard line. And Dickerson is tackled out at the 44. Actually, there are three different flags back between the 23 and the 12-yard line. Once again, this is a Mid-American Conference officiating crew. Had a chance to speak with them before the game. They actually liked being out here in Hawaii. Imagine that amongst the 82-degree weather.
Yeah, when we got the call and we found out we were assigned to this bowl game, I can't say I was disappointed.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 48 of the return team, penalized half the distance to the goal. First down, Hawaii.
The opportunity to come out here and spend some time. And Mark, I know you're going to spend a couple extra days here in Hawaii. Just magical. On the islands, Waikiki. Been out here for 3 or 4 days, and the weather's been spectacular.
Our Sheraton Bowl people have been extremely cordial and hospitable, and the indigenous people here have been wonderful. June Jones and his coaching staff. Had a chance to visit with them, and this has been a wonderful experience all around. First down and 10. Home team leading by 10 with just under 12 minutes to go. Ilawa on the carry. He's tackled at about the 12-yard line. Now, David, we talked about the run and shoot for most of the night. How do you burn time off the clock in the run and shoot, or can you?
Well, and that's one of the weaknesses of this offense, is trying to milk clock. As we look at Mouse Davis, the mentor, the originator of the run and shoot offense. I remember walking down the hill, Portland, Oregon, watching him coach with June Jones under center, Neil Lomax. I watched Neil Lomax's offense put up 105 points one afternoon against Delaware State. But, weakness of this offense, you're going to get plenty of possessions here in the fourth quarter if you're Arizona State.
Grice-Mullens with the catch on the play, right around the first down marker. So, is it kind of like, I kind of equate it to, it's like in The Mob in television. Just when you think you're out of it, you're really in? Is that it? Well, you keep you in the game?
You do a lot of NBA basketball. You've seen the Phoenix Suns, and it might be an inappropriate time to bring this up. Suns after they ran off 15 in a row. But the Phoenix Suns, if you're down by 15, 16, 17 points, you're going to get enough possessions to get back in the game. And Arizona State, I think, they're talking on the sideline plenty of time. They were trailing by 17. That touchdown got them right back in the game. And with over 11 minutes to go, plenty of time to pull a comeback here in the islands.
First down after that play and catch by Brian Grice-Mullens. A season ago, a young man battled to groin injuries for most of the season, was really slowed down as a result of that, but has caught a couple of pivotal passes in this one. 1st and 10 coming up. Mock in motion. And he fumbled it. Tryon got it, and the Sun Devils get a gift at the Hawaii 27-yard line, down by just 10 with plenty of time to play. That thing came squirting out of the arms of Ilawa.
I think it was Jeremy Payton, the backup safety, that got his arm in and stripped the football. And Payton was victimized on the deep ball to Rivers. Grice-Mullens broke a tackle down near the goal line. That was Payton. And a nice play by number 7 to give the ball back to Rudy Carpenter with a short field.
Working with the short field, as you said, at the 27-yard line. It's a rain in the backfield. 2 tight ends, 2 wides, a little ace formation here. Carpenter. Pass is going to be ruled complete. What a catch by Mike Jones at the 4-yard line. Got a foot inbounds. And it's 1st and goal for Arizona State after the 23-yard catch.
These are the kind of throws that Rudy Carpenter is fully capable of snapping off on you. Post corner route. And he's throwing that ball once again as a second choice. Defensive backs are taught to read your eyes. Carpenter came from all the way over on the left side back to the corner route and delivered a perfect ball.
And Carpenter throwing his arms heavenward in frustration.
This play is under review.
Based on the replay that we showed a few moments ago, David, it appeared as if there was no decision there, that Mike Jones did get that 1 foot down. Unless there was a question as to whether he had possession at the time.
That looks like a pretty clean catch.
Yeah, he's in.
And he got a foot down clearly. It's going to be Arizona State ball, 1st and goal inside the 5.
Mike Jones, the starting center fielder on Arizona State's baseball team, hit .326 last year, started the last 6 games of the season. And interesting that he and Kyle Williams, his backup at the receiver position, we have a center field controversy on the football team because Kyle Williams is also a very talented center fielder on the Arizona State baseball team.
Well, this wide receiver core was really a weakness midway through the season. Richardson, you had Lewis, you had Burgess, all hurt, not playing, and a young group had to step up and learn the position on the fly. Guys like McGahey, who had a big catch in the rivalry game for a touchdown in the 1st quarter against Arizona, that got this team on the move. Jones has had a terrific game against Hawaii.
Yeah, 4 catches today, David, for 68 yards, but those 4 catches all for 1st downs.
He's worked the sidelines well, and he's run a couple fade routes that were crisp. But how about Rudy Carpenter? You know, they're neighborhood throwers at quarterback that'll put the ball somewhere in the neighborhood on you, and then there's spot throwers, guys that will put it on a spot and place it on a receiver. Rudy Carpenter is a spot thrower.
Mike Jones, the 6'3", 208-pound sophomore, emerging as a extremely viable option at wide receiver. McGahey has been relatively quiet today, and there's a look at Carpenter.
Rudy Carpenter lost Richardson and Jamal Lewis, Burgess as well. They totaled over 100 catches a year ago, and we're not even talking about Hagan and Mutz and Matt Miller, who had to move on.
You mentioned Kimbrough, right? Him too. And with this slowdown in the action, David, how much do you think that affects the perceived momentum or otherwise for Arizona State?
I think if as long as this play holds up, I think Dirk Cutter's going to be plenty happy to get the ball 1st and goal inside the 5. And this has become part of college football. Remember 2-3 years ago, we didn't have a review. Coach is really not choosing to use their review flags much in college football, and I think they're going to look at that during the offseason because every play is being reviewed upstairs as it is. Why would you ever need a flag?
Rudy Carpenter, a season ago, led the nation in passing efficiency. This year, it's the quarterback across the field, Colt Brennan, as the official now coming on the field with the call.
It took a while, and I think they're trying to see if he secured the football with his hands.
The play stands as called on the field. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 10:29. 10:29.
I don't think there was any question that he had a foot down in bounds. They were looking very carefully to make sure that Jones secured the football and made a nice clean catch with his hands on the sideline.
Arizona State looking for its 3rd consecutive bowl victory, and it would be the last game, for their head coach, Dirk Cutter. 1st and goal. Ball just inside the 5. Terrain and Miller lining up out of the offset eye. Carpenter to Jones, touchdown! Mike Jones! And there's a flag down back at the 19-yard line. And it's going to go against Hawaii.
I think this is a late hit on Rudy Carpenter by Ikaika Lama-Francis. Arizona State's going to be kicking off from close to midfield. And what a play by Rudy Carpenter. He was looking at a high-low route combination to the right side and then threw across his body.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
But he came all the way back to the left, Mark Jones, to find Jones on a crossing route. That was a heck of a throw.
Wonderful offensive execution. Mike Jones pivotal on that drive. Big catch to get them down to the 4-yard line. Arizona State with the extra point following here. And now just 3 points away with 10:25 to go in the 4th quarter. A real-life Rudy in action. This is not Hollywood. This is bigger and better.
Now, we talked about Dirk Cutter coming out of that Oregon pipeline. Here's Jones. He's in motion. You're going to get a high-low from the fullback and the tight end, and then Jones is going to work back against the flow. He's going to get caught underneath linebackers. And great patience by Carpenter. A sidearm throw that was put right on target. Sells the right side, comes back to Jones. And what a game Mike Jones is having.
Certainly has, like his namesake, the famous rapper. Don't act like you don't know the name. It's Mike Jones, and here's a look at the late hit against Lama-Francis after the pass.
Now, we talked about the toughness of Colt Brennan, but Rudy Carpenter, he's a great leader, a competitor. Really a student of the game, gets in, studies tape, and his teammates love his toughness. He has taken a lot of big hits over the course of this season.
And remember, David, we talked at the top of the show about Jerry Glanville's magic number. It's set at 20. And after 20, he says that's when quarterbacks start to make mistakes, and they often get their picks. It's a trend that he's studied in his 40-some years in football. Right now, that magic number of 20, they're not even close to it. They're at 10. So it says something, I think, about the way that maybe Arizona State has protected Carpenter. And this one out the back of the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. And Uncle Mo has gone to the other side of the field.
I was going to say that. It's a game of momentum, especially in a big game like this one, a bowl game. So important for Hawaii playing at home. Hawaii scored 24 unanswered. Arizona State has snatched back that momentum. 2 touchdowns on consecutive drives.
That one set up by the fumble from Neilawa. Coach is working the officiating crew after the extra point.
A lot of years of experience there between June Jones and Jerry Glanville. Of course, June Jones coaching underneath Glanville at the pro level.
Once again, it's Rivers working against Tryon. And first down to the 34-yard line. They have had a field day against Tryon today.
And how about the feet of Colt Brennan? He's got great feet in the pocket. He's able to move and find areas, seams between defensive linemen to deliver the football. I love the way he slides around in the backfield, almost like a ballerina, and he is able to free himself up. Good sight lines down the field, and then boom, the ball comes out with accuracy.
Look at those numbers. Fourth 400-plus yard passing game. And bowl game. And Colt Brennan underneath this time to Bess. And Bess powering forward up to the 48-yard line near midfield, and another first down for Hawaii. Trying to snatch some of that momentum back with the ball now on offense.
Well, you can't say enough about this Hawaii offensive line. And June Jones has talked about the offensive line throughout the season. Really an unsung group, but a group that has played at a very high level up front. It all starts with Samson Satelli, a center who started every game of his career, moved over to center for his last season from guard.
What an incredible streak that is when you think about it. Especially in football where you deal with all the injuries. Mauia that time, Reagan Mauia. How do you spell knock? Yeah, flex it up. Putting some muscle in his hustle. He's got plenty of it. He got a lot of junk in the trunk.
295 pounds.
He was a 356 at one point, David.
How many converted defensive linemen, interior defensive linemen, get converted to tailback? And that's like trying to tackle a mid-size SUV.
That's an Escalade on spinners right there. 22-inch rims included. 2nd and 3 coming up. Once again, they keep it on the ground. Mauia again. Well, Tuesday night Capital One Bowl Week kicks off on ESPN. Sunbelt champs Middle Tennessee making the team's first ever bowl appearance, taking on Central Michigan. Motor City Bowl on ESPN Tuesday night, part of Capital One Bowl Week. Also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Let's take a look at that last hit. How do you tackle these big fullbacks, or tailbacks I'll call them?
Well, Josh Barrett, the Pac-10, all Pac-10 safety, said, I didn't know there were tailbacks that were that big on the planet.
3rd and 1 coming up.
I agree with him.
Grice-Mullens in motion. Brennan throws it on a rope that melts in Grice-Mullens' arms for another Hawaii first down at the 27-yard line. He got 14 that time. They moved the chains.
June Jones said it. He thinks Colt Brennan is the best quarterback. He goes so far as to say he's the best football player in college football. And the way he's been throwing the ball in this bowl game, it's hard to argue with him. You know, Troy Smith is the guy that meant the most to his team. Troy Smith, the plays he made against Michigan, 3rd down conversions, deserve it to clearly be the Heisman winner. But Colt Brennan, he's going to have his day next year.
Mauia, flag down. And Mauia down at the 24-yard line. David, you see guys just start to kind of fall down in front of these big running backs for Hawaii. I don't see anybody wrapping up with arms and doing that form tackling thing that you guys all talk about.
Well, you got
to break form when you deal with 300-pound tailbacks.
A holding call against Hawaii here, which is going to be a big help for the Sun Devils. But you got Ilawa at 248.
10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
You got Ilawa at 248. You got Mauia at 295. And let's be honest, he's tipping more than 3 bills. You want to get into their legs early if you can. If you don't, I mean, it's not a lot of fun at the second level trying to put a helmet on these guys. And when you're playing the pass, a week in and week out, Mark Jones, we talk to defensive coordinators and say, we've got to stop the run. Well, defensive coordinators that go up against Hawaii, we got to stop the pass. And then all of a sudden you get one of these big tailbacks coming downhill at you.
Those little shovel passes are almost like running plays, too, when they're coming downhill at you. 1st and 20. Brennan tucks it under, but is brought down at the 39-yard line. Good pursuit from the backside. Manitai with the tackle.
That's a super play by Manitai, an inside linebacker whose strength isn't playing in space, but he had the speed to run down Colt Brennan from behind.
Manitai is the cousin of Neivilawa, the starting tailback for Hawaii. 2nd and 23 coming. Approaching 6 minutes to go. Ilawa obviously a little disappointed after his fumble that set up the last Arizona State touchdown. Watching this sequence from the sidelines. Wide open underneath. You know what? Rivers has been like 7-Eleven. Open 24 hours. Another reception for him as he closes in on 200 yards in the ball game. Open on Christmas Eve, too.
Well, this was an offense that pioneered it all. The first offense going back to the 70s that allowed wide receivers to read secondaries after the snap of the football. Rivers a great job of getting downfield, taking that in cut and finding the seam, giving Colt Brennan a nice picture.
A methodical drive down the field by Hawaii here. Actually, dare I say, using up some clock. Brennan complete to Bess. Touchdown, Hawaii! "21 yards for the touchdown." Brendan told the fans, hey, how about 3? Well, he's about there. 3 more. Might be a celebration penalty against the Warriors.
That pass absolutely froze Ryan McCoy, the safety.
Touchdown. Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 7 of the offense. That is his second unsportsmanlike conduct foul. He is disqualified from the game.
Devon Bess is done for the night. The team's leading receiver out of the game with 5:16 to go. So at some point, I guess you have to control your exuberance.
You can't afford that. And Devon Bess has been barking after every catch. We mentioned that you get some of that when you come and play against Hawaii. Bess has had some well-documented problems off the field, but June Jones and this team needs Devon Bess. He's one of the most dynamic receivers in the country. We got over 5 minutes to go here. This game could go into overtime. You can't afford to have Devon Bess sitting on the bench.
Well, maybe I come from a different world, but I'm not sure I understand that whole thing where you score a touchdown and you jump up and down and get excited, and somehow that's hurting your opponent's feelings or belittling and degrading your opponent. If you don't want to be degraded or belittled, then don't let him score on you.
I don't think he's getting thrown out of the game for just jumping up and down. I think he said some specific things. And let's watch again here. You know, we're going to have motion here, and then Bess is just going to run up into the seam. Watch how quickly Brennan gets the ball in the air and how accurate this ball is. I mean, Ryan McCoy, number 2, is just stunned. I don't think McCoy has seen a quarterback has the ability with the quick release to put the ball on a receiver that quickly.
You're giving a little dap to the fans. I'm not sure the spirit of that rule really is. I mean, you know, if that's what it was, let's take another look. He runs back.
Well, they're throwing him out for just... No, that flag came well before. They flagged him for getting into the crowd, and if that's the case, Mark, I have to agree with you. I mean, if he's barking after the play, that's one thing, but if he's interacting with the fans, I don't think you can afford to throw Devon Bess. I mean, the crowd comes, there's people watching on TV, people want to see the best athletes on the field. That is...
It's not like that's a fun bunch celebration in the end zone where it's choreographed like the Gladys Knight and the Pips or anything.
And it's Christmas Eve. I mean, local fans, they get behind their team. They don't have a lot of other sports here in the island, teams to get behind. That is sad that Devon Bess would get thrown out. If he was caught for barking, if he was caught for talking after the play, that's a second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That's one thing, but I don't like him getting thrown out for getting into the crowd there.
Amen. 5:16 to go. The lead back up to 10 points. They burned up, I would say, a little bit of clock there. Not what we would call extremely significant amount of clock on that last drive. McGahey at the 17 for Arizona State. And the special teams bringing a little bit of knock as we go down for more on that penalty from Heather.
Well, I talked to the referee to get clarification, and yes, indeed, it was for his interaction with the fans, and that being the second unsportsmanlike. So you guys were right. And then he finished it with, quote, "Hey, this ain't Green Bay."
Yeah, I really don't see how that's severe or egregious, or how it's belittling to your opponent, or
what do you call that? The Lahaina leap?
Yeah.
I mean, Arizona State's got to get to work. Unless they come off the sideline, no huddle, which is the right way to go about things. Down 10 points. They have all 3 timeouts.
Blitz coming from Leonard Peters. Carpenter coolly, with a lot of moxie in that pocket, completes the pass to McGahey at the 39-yard line.
Arizona State has to work quickly. You're down 10 points and you have under 5 minutes to go. There's got to be a sense of urgency. The linemen have to get up to the line of scrimmage quickly after the play. Rudy Carpenter wants to throw the ball beyond the chains to keep this clock stopped.
John DeWitty in a tailback. He gets the call. And DeWitty gets the first down at the 42-yard line. And speaking of the clock, David, this college football season started back in the first week of September. A lot of the talk was about the clock rule, how the clock starts on the kickoff and when they run the clock, when it's put down. Your thoughts on how it's all turned out after the season?
Well, I don't like it. I think it's clear a lot of the coaches don't like it. I think you mirror the rule in the NFL where the clock stops in the last 2 minutes of the first half and the last 5 minutes of the game, not after a change of possession.
Carpenter incomplete at the 30-yard line, intended for Trice Thompson. Stops the clock with 4:05 to go in the fourth quarter. And don't forget, folks, coming up SportsCenter after the game, the NFL playoff picture, Troy Smith. How do you slow him down? I'm not going to say stop, but maybe just slow him down. And one-on-one with Kobe Bryant. John Anderson and Steve Levy on SportsCenter immediately following the game.
Rudy Carpenter missed a great shot to get his team right back in the game. Tyrese Thompson down the seam, just overshot.
Peters coming on a blitz. Up for grabs and incomplete harmlessly at the 45-yard line. Good pressure from Adam Leonard, and there's Peters. Jerry Glanville pressed the button.
Now, Glanville, as a defensive coordinator, up 10 points. He's not going to play soft. He's not going to play 3 deep, what we love to call the prevent defense. He's going to go with the same defensive scheme that got him this lead in the first place. And if Arizona State's going to make points on this drive and stay in this football game, they're going to have to do it against defensive pressure and blitzing.
Jerry Glanville has made a tremendous difference in his 2 years as defensive coordinator here at Hawaii. 3rd and 10, a defining moment for the Warrior defense, and they answer the challenge. Purcell with the sack. 4th down coming up, 3:50 to go. Do you punt, or is it you got to go for it?
Got to go here. I think you have to go. You have your timeouts and you're down 10 points. I know it's 4th and 16. But too much time's going to come off the clock. And by the way, it's Dirk Cutter's last game. I mean, what do you lose here? It's a bowl game? I don't like this decision.
They punt it away. Johnson with a high one. It takes a very auspicious bounce for Arizona State. Down to the 5-yard line. 3:14 to go in this, the 5th edition of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Is there a miracle left for the Sun Devils? We'll find out in a minute.
The true power and beauty of plasma is often hidden, unable to be captured. Hitachi original technologies unleash the most lifelike color and detail in plasma. Introducing the world's highest resolution 42-inch plasma HD TV, only from Hitachi.
Lakers, Heat, NBA Christmas Day on ABC. The stars come out in Miami for one of the biggest regular season games of the year, featuring 2 coaching legends, and the league's 2 best guards.
What a pretty move.
Kobe takes on Finals MVP Dwayne Wade in a game that's become a holiday tradition. Christmas Day, Lakers, Heat. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern on ABC.
This is Sharon. She's always busy picking up the kids, going to the gym, or meeting with clients. As responsible as she is, accidents sometimes happen. But Island Insurance is always here to help. With the Island Certified Auto Repair Shop program, Sharon can rest assured that her repairs will be handled at an industry-leading facility, so she can get back on the road and do what she does best. Remind you of anyone? Island Insurance, always here to help.
Happy holidays!
Windward Dodge Chrysler Jeep reminds you to buy a new car before the end of the year and the new sales tax law goes into effect. Get a great deal now during the premier sales event happening now. At Windward, we give you better service, a better price, and better selection. Look in the paper or shop online. You'll see the prices at Windward are way better than the other guys, like this 07 Dodge Caliber for only $252 per month and this 07 Dodge Nitro for only $328 per month. We guarantee you the best price at Windward Dodge Chrysler Jeep, no matter what your credit history is. Check us out in Kaneohe. Drive a little and save a lot.
Welcome back, and all of his teams reflected his values: hard work, selflessness, discipline, but a few of them turned his vision into a living, breathing, winning work of art. A confluence of talent and fine-tuning, of sweat-drenched effort, and intangible chemistry that landed him on top of the basketball world and gave us moments and memories that will last forever. The championship teams of Coach Bob Knight as he sits on the brink of history. They play UNLV on the 28th and then New Mexico on January 1st as he looks to surpass Dean Smith with total wins. So a pivotal and somewhat controversial decision by Dirk Cutter to punt on that last sequence on 4th down. Ilawa back in the ball game. The last time he touched the ball, he fumbled. Ilawa with both hands firmly wrapped around the ball falls at the 5-yard line. Maybe got 1, maybe 2 on the play. What do you think of that punt?
Well, it's a tough decision to make to go ahead and punt there because you have an offense that's capable of picking up a 4th and 16. And remember, the clock starts before the first down snap. You have 3 timeouts left. The clock's going to start 4 times. Once before the first down snap, and then after 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. So you're going to lose time off the clock here. There's not going to be a timeout left for after the 3rd down play. You're really counting on getting the ball back and then recovering an onside kick. I think you have to take the risk inside your own 35 and go on 4th and 16.
Dirk Cutter knows what comes with the job and the title of head coach. The son of a coach. He's coached by his father in high school coming up, learning the game. He knows what the minefields and the pitfalls are, and he'll move on to another position, no doubt. He'll be hired by somebody, I would guess, relatively soon.
There's no doubt he's one of the best X's and O's offensive minds in college football. I mentioned the Oregon Pipeline because underneath Mike Bellotti, you had offensive coordinators like Al Borges, who's gone to Auburn, Jeff Tedford at Cal, Bob Toledo came close with Cade McNown to a national title game appearance, and then you have Dirk Cutter. Those are 4 offensive coordinators and coach up in Eugene, and all extremely highly regarded.
Contract extended, actually, back in March. And then the decision made to terminate his contract after the Arizona victory earlier this month. Brennan keeps it himself. Nice move, almost a face mask. And Brennan lunging for the first down at the 19-yard line. So he shows you some of his somewhat deceiving, robust athletic talent. 2:46 to go. They keep possession of the football and move the chains.
Now, June Jones, just like clockwork, talks about the intangibles with Colt Brennan. Now, how about his mobility? Go ahead and run it, guys. He's not only going to pick up the first down here, but watch him dive back in towards the field of play to keep the clock moving after they whistle the ball ready for the snap. And that is going to really make things tough on Arizona State because a new set of downs. Arizona State still with 2 timeouts left.
Both teams with a pair of timeouts remaining. Ilawa is their insurance policy out to the 23-yard line. And Heather Cox has more on Dirk Cutter.
Well, I talked to Arizona State Athletic Director Lisa Love about her decision to fire Coach Cutter, and she said she appreciates the work he's done over the last 6 years, but she added, you know what, now we're working with Coach Erickson. His resume in championships and BCS games was the deciding factor. And basically, she said the whole reason we're seeking a grander stage for the Sun Devils. So in the conversation, it seemed to me that ultimately the 2-19 record against ranked teams and the fact that they never won in California against Pac-10 teams were the deciding factors in making the coaching change.
Yeah, Erickson had their turnaround Oregon State after consecutive losing seasons. There's a look at his impressive resume. Went 7-5 and then that 11-1 season, David, for Oregon State under Erickson, his second year there. Pretty fast start in Corvallis and then 2 national championships at the University of Miami. After that, it was on to the NFL.
He's a player's coach, and his teams play with confidence. He's an offensive mastermind. You mentioned the 2 national championships, and that 11-1 team, Oregon State, they went down and absolutely trashed Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl right in front of the Tempe faithful. And I think the people down in Tempe, and most importantly, Lisa Love, remember that game. He is a guy that is a quick fix type coach. I think he's capable of doing some things with Arizona State. And by the way, Mike Price was a candidate, for that job. Right. Mike Price, only a matter of time before he gets a big job. One of the best in the business.
2nd down and 6 to go for Hawaii. They stormed back in the 3rd quarter with 3 touchdowns as Colt Brennan was white hot. Lauer on the handoff. Met about a yard behind the line of scrimmage as the clock approaches 2 minutes.
Timeout.
Another timeout called by Arizona State, it looks like here.
That's their last.
Lauer can take some hits, but more importantly, he gives out more than he takes. Mike Tirico has more on the upcoming game on Monday Night Football.
They are one of the surprise NFL stories of 2006. Chad Pennington and the New York Jets still in the AFC playoff chase. They visit Jason Taylor and the Miami Dolphins on Christmas night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
You know, when I think about Dolphins, Jets, I think about
comeback.
I think about Dan Marino, the fake spike touchdown, and I think about that comeback when Jason Taylor looked into the camera and said, "It's over, baby." Waking up to the Miami Herald the next morning, I found out otherwise.
Yeah, Vinny Testaverde had other thoughts. Wayne Crabette with a huge game that night.
Don't forget Sports Center. Sorry, David. Coming up next.
And look at the clock. 2:12 left. 3rd down play. Yeah, Hawaii going to keep the ball on the ground here. You never know with June Jones down the sideline, but safe to say they're going to keep the ball on the ground. If Arizona State can stop Hawaii here, there's going to be about a minute and a half left when Arizona State gets the ball back. Even if they score, they're going to have to get an onside kick, and they're going back one more time. That's the reason I think you go on 4th and 16, because then you don't have to rely on recovering an onside kick.
What a day for quarterback Colt Brennan. A career-high 480 yards passing. Blitz off the edge, and Rivers is thinking about a house call. If you don't know about Jason Rivers, you better ask somebody. Touchdown, Hawaii. "79 yards and a bolt across the Hawaiian plain." This one is pretty much done now, as Rivers made sure that he stayed away from those adoring fans there. No establishing of contact, no flags on the play for celebration, as Bess gives him a little dap. Well, for those of you in the Eastern time zone who are still up, and we hope that you are, if you hadn't seen Colt Brennan and this prolific Hawaii offense, you had to wait a little while, David. You had to wait 2 quarters, 30 minutes of football. But you certainly saw what they can do here in the second half, erupting for 38 points. Brennan with an all-time bowl record, about 560 yards, a school record, in addition to 5 touchdowns. a forlorn-looking coach on the other side of the field. And what do you do?
It's as advertised. This is going to be a slant by Rivers here, and Justin Tryon cannot play this route as soft as he did. The game's on the line here. You can't give up a first down and then not much of an effort by Tryon to make the tackle. I was not impressed by Justin Tryon's effort there, and Rivers having himself a night.
Take one more look at this in real speed. And speaking of speed, Rivers, a former state track champion. The turbo kicked in about right here. He was thinking 6.
And about 118 teams in the country that would run the ball in that situation on 3rd and 9, up 10 points, being safe with the football. Not June Jones. Like I said, you never know what he's going to spring on you. He trusts Colt Brennan to put the ball up, to be secure with the football. And that was one of the best slant throws I've seen at the college level all year.
A school record 308 yards by Jason Rivers. Brennan, he's been on point.
Yeah, that's the closest I've come to clapping in the press box. Watching Colt Brennan, the performance of this offense, you just have to appreciate the precision and the execution. What a year for Colt Brennan, and I think it's safe to say, Mark Jones, he may be the favorite in the Heisman voting going into next year if he comes back.
This is a great platform and a good time to set the stage for next year. Tryon will take a knee after bobbling the kickoff. And Williams getting up in his kitchen a little bit. Brennan, Rivers, they worked Arizona State like a part-time job tonight. We have, it looks like, a flag on the field now.
Yeah, and he's given some props to Nate Alawa, his tailback.
Conduct. Number 4 of the return team spiking the ball. Penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. First down, Arizona State.
Tryon was the perpetrator of the penalty that time. Obviously, you can understand his frustration. Jason Rivers with 308 receiving yards today. An all-time single-game record in Hawaii school history.
Go back to the Oregon State game. Hawaii had a chance to win, and Colt Brennan bounced the ball to Rivers on 4th down. Rivers was open. It's redemption day.
And Carpenter sacked at the 9-yard line. Colt Brennan with a lot to say.
What up? California, all the Brennans and everybody in my family. What's going on? Christian Allen from the East Coast of Massachusetts. Everybody, let's go. We're rocking it out here. Merry Christmas to all. Woo!
Sound like your drive time DJ that time. Shout out to the whole nation. Colt Brennan. Got a little bit of personality. Always helps at the position, doesn't it? Can't flag that. Terrain got rocked, and now that defense is still bringing some knock.
Great performance by Jerry Glanville's defense. You got to give credit to the offensive line and the skill position players. But Colt Brennan, remember, nobody recruited him. He only had one opportunity with Utah State. Didn't feel it was the right situation for him. He went to a prep school for a year, walked on at Colorado, went to JC at Saddleback.
Pass incomplete at the 22-yard line.
And then,
intended for Miller.
And then he comes to Hawaii and walks on a year ago, plays the entire year, Mark Jones, as a walk-on and leads the country in total offense.
When he told us that only a couple of small East Coast schools, Villanova, Georgetown, those teams had a look at him, and he felt he had better in his future. It's really amazing when you mentioned Utah State. His coach, June Jones, challenged him and said, if you're the player I think you are, you're going to come here, and you're ultimately going to be the first quarterback taken in the draft at some point.
And what did June Jones see that other coaches couldn't see across the country? I mean, how about June Jones picking Colt Brennan out of that mix?
And off to Terrain. Terrain still on his feet, crossing the 20. Boy, it's just time for kill shots now. Here's today's player of the game, presented by Capital One. Tough choice. You got Brennan, you got Rivers. We give it to the young Colt. 559 yards passing. 5 touchdowns. Sign on the dotted line.
Sean King's pass efficiency number, we can't calculate it on the fly up here, but I think that record is in danger. Single season record that Sean King set under Rich Rodriguez as the offensive coordinator. Tommy Bowden down at Tulane.
Well, they better hope that Colt Brennan, and please don't throw a flag for establishing contact with the fans there. They better hope that he comes back. His adoring fans signing some autographs for them, and came into the game with 53 touchdown passes on the season, up that number to 58. And what a comeback. That third quarter really turned the beat around. 33 of 42, 559. And 1 interception, the only blemish on his day. Hawaii, with their school record, 11th victory of the season. They'll end up 11-3 on the year. And Arizona State, meanwhile, will fall to 7-6. Terrain had a great season, ran for over 1,000 yards, and brought down on the game's final play. The Rainbow Warriors win it, 41-24. An early Christmas present for June Jones and his Hawaii football team. For Dirk Cutter, his future, you would think, arguably is bright. He's a well-respected offensive mind in the coaching fraternity. We'll see where he ends up next as we go downstairs to heaven.
And Colt Brennan sets the single-season touchdown record in NCAA history. Colt, just 2 years ago, playing junior college ball at Saddleback, did you ever imagine in 2 years you'd be in this position setting records?
No, not at all. I mean, this is just a real surreal moment, and I'm just glad I'm here. Hey, thanks, great job. I'm just glad I'm here, and I'm glad I got to represent Hawaii, and we got the win, and that's what it was all about.
The record comes with 5 touchdown passes in the second half after a slow first start in the first half. What did you do to flip the switch? Man, we just weathered the storm, man. There were some things that happened in the first half that just didn't go our way, and we didn't get on ourselves. We didn't get frustrated. We kept the positive momentum, and we just said our time will come. And once it did, man, we just capitalized and kept it coming. After you set the record, fans started yelling, "1 more, Colt." I saw you turn around to him and say, "How about 3 more?" How did you keep your promise? I don't know, man. I knew once we got that 1 touchdown that all the butterflies and kind of the pressure would kind of break down, and then we could go out there and be ourselves. And once we scored once, I knew we could keep scoring, and that's how we did it. All right, hate to flip the switch, but now to the million-dollar question, or maybe that's the multi-million-dollar question. Will you return to Hawaii for your senior year, or will you declare yourself eligible for the NFL draft? Right now, I'm planning on coming back next year. I mean, I would love to come back and play as a senior here. I am going to, see what. Thanks a lot, Rudy. I am going to see what the NFL and everyone says, but I love Hawaii. I love playing for Hawaii, and right now I'm coming back, but we'll just have to wait and see. Well, we wish you the best of luck in whatever you decide. Congratulations on the record. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right, Mark. Family, back home.
If you're Colt Brennan, it's easy to have your mind on your money and your money on your mind. June Jones, 11 wins on the season. The final score, 41-24. For David Norrie and Heather Cox, I'm Mark Jones. An early Christmas gift for Hawaii. We're going to say so long from Honolulu, Hawaii. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. A compelling day of college football it was. 41-24 the final score. Now let's join John Anderson and Steve Levy for SportsCenter. Aloha from Hawaii.
Is SportsCenter. Peyton Manning not in a merry mood Sunday. A bizarre finish in Denver and final second drama in Seattle. Why Peyton's little brother isn't feeling too jolly either. And a huge milestone for Michael Vick. But bad news for his team. Troy Smith looking to add a national title to his Heisman. The Gators reveal how they plan to ruin that for the Buckeyes quarterback. And a conversation with Kobe. His thoughts on D-Wade, Shaq, Phil, and a bold Christmas Day prediction.
Teamed up with Steve Levy, I'm John Anderson. Happy holidays, everybody. Please pass the football.
Sometimes, John, it's more effective to run the football when the defense brings the blitz.